service, no requests made, just doing what's right. Small actions, big heart. That's what it means to go beyond.
Oh, yeah, I work in civil service. Pete and I go back to the nineties. We're Southsiders. Yeah. We have a mutual friend.
That's right, that's right. Okay, now I'm like, who's that? It's a McAllen thing.
How are you?
How are you? All kinds of work to do. Party never stops.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a volunteer job? Okay. Weston Martinez. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Still practicing law? Oh, Yeah, we're gonna get sworn in again?
Yeah, one more time.
One more time.
Anyway, I was,
What you need? Should have. Hold on. I can get out.
well, I'll tell you what, they're not crazy.
And I have a packet of Mike's item is that map, and so the packet, so if you get stuff on Google, the city attorney should be on GoToMeeting, just don't close it all out. And then in Google, you'll have the meeting packet, and that will have to pop up, the PDF onto the attachment. Okay.
Okay, we'll begin the meeting in about 1 more minute. Thank you.
Club. Hi, Judge. Good, how are you doing? I think so, maybe. Or it'll look like I do. There you go.
I'll wait till summer. When my brand new.
Hi, Crystal. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good.
So I let the chief know that the seniors are doing senior service tonight.
Okay.
They were talking about climbing up on the water tower.
Not a good idea.
And then setting up barbecue grill and barbecue.
Oh, well, that's good that they can do that. Well,
I don't know. I was like, oh, they better wait for the water tower.
well, the thing about the water tower is what people don't realize. Did you ever climb it, like when you're a kid?
Oh, I would have never done that, what you're talking about. I was a good kid.
Well, when you climb, I've done it with you. It moves. It's weird. You're not, like, people freak out. We had somebody get stuck there because they freaked out.
Yeah, well, and that's when I go to the fire department. I want to go rescue some stupid kids.
You're welcome. No, I do not. That is a little weird.
All right. Good evening, and let's start this meeting. Good evening, and welcome to the City of Leon Valley City Council regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, and it's approximately 6:31 in the evening. And we do have a quorum. Not all council members are present. Unfortunately, Councilor Campos called in sick today, and he's never sick, so we wish him speedy recovery. And I also want to welcome everybody, not only in the chambers, but that are seeing us on live on YouTube. And that includes my daughter, Grace. I'm going to give a shout out to her from Tampa, Florida. So she said she was going to look in. So yay, Grace, I wish you were here. So I did want to say that. So I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Betty Heil to please lead us in the pledge, if you'll please stand.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 is citizens to be heard. Do we have any citizens in the chambers that would like to address the council? Please come forward and state your name and just generally where you reside, and you have up to 3 minutes to speak. Okay. We have Miss, I can already tell you, Tina Chasen. Good evening and welcome.
Hi, Tina Chasen, Forest Oaks. Good evening, Council, Mayor. I just would like to say a quick shout out to the fire department.
Okay.
This is the second year in a row that I've had to call them to change out the battery in an electric fire detector way up in the ceiling, 14 feet up. They not only came out, they wanted to replace the battery like they did last year. I said, no, I got myself another fire alarm system, and I put it down at my height. So as much as I like seeing you come out to the house every year, thank you for doing it, but I'm taking that job back.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you for those compliments. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Fire Department. Good evening, Miss Burnside. How are you?
Yes, talking about fire.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you mentioned that, my neighbor.
Oh, I didn't, but thank you for,
Yeah.
I know what you're
We
going to say.
have a neighbor 2 houses down, and they had workmen, trucks for 2 or 3 weeks. And I finally went over and I said, what's going on here? What are you doing? And the owner said, we were this far from setting the house on fire, this far. These houses were built in the 1970s, so we have an electric system that's not good, not good.
It's
So be
aluminum
aware,
wiring.
they had some kind of electrical short or something in the refrigerator that set it off. And they got an electrician to come, and he said, you know what, you better take care of this. So I don't know how much it cost him, but it was well worth the expense. And as I said, all the people that live in that area need to be aware of that fire
Right.
danger.
Okay, we'll try to put that in the e-news or whatever. Certainly, Tina, this is a joyous day.
I know. Just to add to that,
Huh?
the houses were built during the Vietnam War, and so copper was being used and directed towards the war effort.
Okay.
So your wiring is aluminum, and what happens is the sockets are aluminum and copper. So, no, they're copper, they're aluminum. Copper, excuse me, they're copper. So if you change your house over to aluminum copper, you can get individual plugs at the Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. And if you just change out the plugs, you should be good.
Okay, very good. Thank you for those tips. Do appreciate it. All right, anyone else like to address the council? All righty, thank you. So we'll go down to presentations. Presentation 3.1, the Honorable Judge Peter Sakai will administer the oath of office, and there will be a presentation of the certificate of election to Council Member-elect Chris Riley, Mayor, Council Member-elect Betty Heil, Place 2, Council Member-elect Ray Orozco, Place 4. Just a point of personal privilege, I would like to ask my colleagues if they'd like to say anything first before you swear us in, Your Honor. So, Councilor Heil, if you'd like to go first. Thank you.
I want to take this time to thank everyone that took the time to
Is it
go
on?
out and vote. I appreciate your
Is it
show
on?
of support.
Is it on? I just want to be sure it's on. There you
I'm just
go.
not close enough.
There we
I
go.
appreciate
Great.
your show of support for me and the others. And it's really interesting. This was an interesting election time. I actually went out and did a lot of block walking, and I met a lot of my neighbors and listened to all their concerns and what they would like done in the city. So it was interesting. And I am looking forward to serving as counselor for the next 2 years. And I promise that I will continue to serve all of the citizens of this city.
Okay, thank you, Betty. Councilor Orozco.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everybody that has supported me for the past 5.5 years. It has been a very eventful 5.5 years, and I want to thank you for the calls that you've given me, for the helpful criticism, because I learned a lot in this 5 years, and with the good and with the bad. And I promise that that I'll continue to listen to everybody, and my doors will always be open. Thanks to the staff in Leon Valley staff. There hasn't been that one time that I've called and I had an answer by the afternoon. Or they would call me and say, we'll get it as soon as we can. Thank you so much for responding to me. And of course, my wife, she's my chief of staff, she's my campaign manager, she's my secretary, and she's my boss. I don't know what the good Lord has in store for me for the next 2 years here, but I can promise you, as Betty had indicated, that I will continue to work hard. I will continue to listen to everybody and try to make the right decisions, not only for a few, but for the whole city of Leon Valley. Le quiero dar las gracias a todos ustedes. A todos ustedes que me telefonaron y necesitaban algo. La puerta de mi oficina todo el tiempo va a estar abriendo por ustedes. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to the next 2 years.
Okay, thank you. Really appreciate that. Well, some common themes here. Congratulations to my counselor, Heil and Orozco, for being reelected. I really appreciate the citizen support in showing you and myself that they wanted us to continue. So thank you for that. Deeply humbled and privileged for the outpouring of the good wishes I've received. And again, for those who did not vote for me, you know, we, like Councilman Orozco said, we represent everybody, and we will listen to everybody, and we'll do the right thing. And if you don't like it, get involved so that you can change things. That's the main thing. I wanted to thank everyone who helped to go door to door, and you know who you are. And this was a team effort. You can't cover the city without other people helping you. And I really appreciate the citizens for opening their door. A lot of citizens don't want to open their doors, but we had quite a number that did. And you know what's great about it is you get the temperature of the community. And I would say that probably 9 out of 10 people said, "No, Mayor, I have no concerns. You know, everything's running smoothly." And that reinforces what we're doing, right? But then the concerns that we did get, we turned them in to our city manager, and she's very responsive to list them, share them with everybody, and if we haven't addressed them, we will address them. So and what did I hear at the doors? I mean, anything from they're speeding too much, we need more police, flooding issues, deer issues, code issues, so you heard it all. But that's what we're here for. We're here to solve those problems. So I want to especially thank Councilor Heil, Councilor Campos, who's not here, and Councilor Mersch. They took it upon themselves to go door to door in their own neighborhood to listen to their constituents. And it's interesting because they got the same kind of concerns universally. My overall observation from walking the neighborhood is that Leon Valley is slowly changing over to a younger population. The majority of residents have kept their homes, and many longtime residents have moved or passed away. And I just love our community, and I want to tell you that I'm going to strive to continue to listen, take suggestion or criticism, and to improve as a positive and not as a negative. And we have an open door policy here at Leon Valley. All of the counselors are here to serve you. Just let us know, and we will return your call. We have various opportunities besides the council meetings. We have quarterly coffees with the mayor and council, and we have our town hall. And you know, we really, really appreciate that. Plus the communication on e-news and on the Lion's Roar, and then you know, to keep you all apprised. So let's work together in a spirit of goodwill to make Leon Valley a model community in the Metroplex. And again, I want to thank my counselors, my colleagues, and the city staff for all they do to help us do our job better. And I'm really excited about the challenges we have facing us, and I look forward to working with the citizens, my colleagues, and the city staff to make us a better place. So thank you so much. And I wanted to thank Judge Sakai for coming again this year to swear us in. It's an honor, and we're deeply humbled. Thank you, Your Honor. All right, so with that said, we'll move down. Did you want to?
You're first.
Oh, am I first? Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. I wanted to also recognize my family. My son Charlie, they surprised me this evening, and my granddaughter and my best friend from grade school who came.
Testing.
Stand there, so you stand up. Well, Mayor, if I may, just say a few words. First, I'm County Judge Peter Sakai, honored to be here. Invited by Mayor Riley to do the swearing in for her and the two council people that are joining the council. Let me just say what a privilege it is to be here in Leon Valley. For those that have been following politics, I was on the district court bench for 26 years, and then 4 years ago, ran and won to be county judge. And so it's been an honor and privilege to be a public servant for y'all for these last 30 years. And what a privilege for me to be here. I do have ties to the city of Leon Valley. One of your police officers was a rookie officer in 1985 when I was a city prosecutor here. So I remember Bandera Road as just a little two-lane highway, and all that backup traffic that just kind of accumulated over the years. And I've just seen the city of Leon Valley just grow and prosper, and especially with the mayor and the council. And it's been my honor and privilege to partner with the city of Leon Valley and Bexar County. I believe we're in the precinct 2.
That's
Commissioner
correct.
Justin Rodriguez, and I know that Commissioner Rodriguez and Leon Valley have such a wonderful relationship. That relationship has created initiatives and collaboration to deal with the homeless issue. We had an initiative that I believe now is about a couple years old.
About 2 years old.
And it has been very, very successful, and it has helped deal with the homeless issue and to show the compassion and the intervention needed for those complex issues. And so I believe that program has now been expanded in partnership with Haven for Hope, with the city of Balcones Heights. And also, too, we're looking at it as a model project for the rest of the county, especially for the unincorporated areas and the other suburban cities. And I believe, City Manager, we've had many CDBG projects out here, both with drainage and streets. And so the city-county relationship is very, very strong, and it's due to the relationship. Let me just say a few words to the citizens. I hope that y'all understand that I really appreciate y'all's presence. But you have to also understand, no matter how tough the decision here, please always respect the mayor, the council, the elected officials. It is a tough job. Quite frankly, to be real blunt, as county judge, I'll say this, I don't know for y'all, it ain't fun anymore. It's a very tough job. And so I hope that y'all always learn to have that dignity and respect that they are entitled to. Council, let me just tell you, been elected official for many years, and I think what has been my success is I am a public servant, a servant leader, which means I put people first. And I hope and I trust that that's the reason why you ran, that's the reason why you want to lead, and that's the reason why you sit there and take your evenings and have to deal with the constituents that you serve. So what an honor and privilege for me to come in and swear y'all in so that y'all can get to work and I can move on and get home to my boss, my campaign manager, my city secretary, city manager at home, Rachel Sakai, who's been my wife for now 44 years. So, Mayor, let's get you sworn in. And
Here we go. Let's see. Let me go ahead and, I just hold it right. There you go.
Please
Yes.
repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Chris Riley,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of City of Leon Valley Mayor
the duties of the City of Leon Valley Mayor
of the State of Texas
of the State of Texas
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Another
Do
time.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Sign this, signature, and so she signs that.
There you go.
Or you're gonna sign it. That's good, good.
You okay?
Okay. So you're legal, Miss Mayor. There you go.
I am legal. Thank you.
Councilwoman Heil,
Congratulations.
did you have the, oh, you're gonna hold it.
I've got it.
All right. Would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Betty Heil,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of City of Leon Valley Council Place 2
the duty of the City of Leon Valley, Place 2,
of the State of Texas
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States,
and of this state,
of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out to do this
No,
for us.
thank you.
I'm going to use my left hand. I got to turn it because I need to be left-handed.
Come on down. Do you want to wear it or do you want to hold it?
Whatever's here is just.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Reynaldo Orozco,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of City of Leon Valley Council Place 4
the duties of the office of City Council, Place 4,
of the state of Texas,
in the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and the will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the constitutional laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state,
So help
Texas.
me God.
And help me God.
There you go.
Thank you, Pete.
There you go. Picture ready? Well, thank y'all very much,
Oh.
and I will close with this.
Okay.
If you got any problems, you call them.
Okay. Your Honor, we have a proclamation that we'd like to give you. Can I have the rest of the council to please come down, because it's on behalf of all of us
Thank you.
and the citizens of
Come
Leon
on.
Valley. Yes, sir. So we have Counselor Bolton and Counselor Mersch. And this is Judge Sakai.
Hello, how are you?
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
So, a proclamation honoring the Honorable Peter Sakai for years of distinguished service. Whereas the Honorable Peter Sakai has dedicated over 40 years of his life to public service, the legal profession, and the families of Bexar County, starting his career as an appellate assistant district attorney and moving into private practice before ascending to the bench. And whereas as an associate judge and later state district judge of the Children's Court, Judge Sakai transformed the foster care system, leading efforts that increased foster care adoptions in Bexar County by an astounding 1,000%.
Wow.
And whereas he pioneered visionary programs such as the Family Drug Court, Early Childhood Court, and the College Bound Docket, which have become nationally recognized models for improving the lives of vulnerable children and families. Whereas in 2023, he made history to become the first Asian American to serve as Bexar County judge, providing steady leadership focused on accountability, public service, and mental health resources. And I'd like to add, addressing the unsheltered that we did. Whereas throughout his tenure as county judge, he successfully balanced 3 consecutive county budgets without increasing taxes while securing significant investments in affordable housing and mental health infrastructure. And whereas Judge Sakai's career has been deeply rooted in his family's history and profound respect for the U.S. Constitution and the rule of law, ensuring that government remains accessible and transparent for all residents. Now, therefore be it proclaimed that we, the City of Leon Valley, do hereby express our deepest appreciation and gratitude to the Honorable Peter Sakai for his unwavering commitment to justice, his visionary leadership, and his decades of service to the people of Bexar County. Signed by my hand this 19th day of May, 2026. Mayor Chris Riley. Thank you so much. We need to get a little closer? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. So I hope everyone, we're going to take a short break and have just a short reception, maybe 15 minutes or so. So we'd love for you to join us, and then we'll resume the council meeting at that time. So thank you all for being here. All righty. Whoops, I got to take off. I'll walk around with it, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I put it on, but boy, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you're welcome.
you?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing
Yeah.
okay. I'm doing okay.
That's good.
Good. I'm retired. Hi, how are you?
My fiance.
So what have you been up to, guys?
Good. Got the next section of Post Landing underway.
No way.
Yeah, so already started and everything. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You just missed the tour day.
Yeah. Hey.
You gotta been up there with me again.
Yeah. On your side, everything.
Anything you gonna do with you guys?
Yes, sir.
Good, good.
Yeah, I wanted to at least, because right now we're actually want to be here for a couple we received for that rezoning.
For the one on,
Chapter 15.
We're gonna have you maybe like a selfie stick for your camera. Short arms.
Which one was this? Trash can on the other side of the road?
I've been seeing doctors. I just got back.
Yes.
I was going to the Inca and it cost. Okay, I'll teach them how when to bring this up, you know, what's the deal?
Yeah, like what's going on? I mean, I can show you what we received real quick. Right up to everyone else. Why concern this was. I was even posing.
I'm good, thank you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so. I was
Maybe you don't want it because there's a reason.
No.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna miss it. How are you, sir? Then we obviously still have 31 lots in the community. Or before the plat and have the average class. That's why it's very concerning for us.
Make sure you come up with.
Yes.
I should have been just busy.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just happy that we just want to say hello, and then we'll come and meet with the staff afterwards.
Okay, cool, yeah.
I know walk in and see talk for a few. Some of my work, and I help. Got some celebration to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What I just put together. So I'll go first and everything else. Pushing that point. Yeah, I made sure it was big enough for you. Yeah. We're guessing like, oh, wait. Across the border. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought you were saying Escape from LA. No, I'm getting confused with that one. It's a Paul Rodriguez Disney.
You know, eat anything?
Nah.
Maybe drop that off.
Ms. Calderon, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Weston Martinez.
Crystal?
Crystal, good to see you. How are you? Pleasure.
Hey, Crystal, how are you doing? Good. What were you out tonight?
We're going to talk about item number 3, just briefly on the regular agenda item. So,
Remind me which one that is,
That's
the
right.
PDD?
Yes.
I'm going to get notified by it.
Doesn't matter.
Well, and we know that it's,
It doesn't impact y'all?
we know, and we're just coming out to say, hi, we love you guys.
So even if the property's in the middle of the,
It doesn't matter.
really?
It doesn't impact them. They've already been granted, anybody that's been granted a PDD already, just like Samir, has already been granted a PDD. So those PDDs still exist.
Yep.
And so they still exist under their original parameters. This only impacts future development. So that means any new developer can't come in and ask for, like if Samir wanted to get another PDD for another piece.
You guys are okay then?
These guys are okay. Samir's property that we're gonna do, that's why we're still doing a PDD with him. That was original PDD prior to y'all deleting. Their grandfather did.
We're just here to say thank you, congratulations on the reelection, and we all know that we're grandfathered, and making sure that it's on the record, and that's what, I just want to tell you before it came up.
Yeah.
Even when they deleted it that night that they deleted it in February, that was a question that came up to the attorney. The attorney addressed it on the record.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Is there a reason why they didn't get notified in advance, or just because they're?
So what happened was y'all did get the notification, but y'all got a notification that it was an amended PDD. The only reason that I'm putting it on is just to make sure, technically the attorney said it's just like a overabundance of caution, because the council has every right under an amendment to delete whatever they want to delete. But I felt like everybody didn't know we were gonna delete, everybody assumed we were gonna make it a PDD. And so, just to let everybody know, for future development, that, PDDs will no longer be an option.
Would you mind us mentioning that you were here? We're gonna have to-
Yeah, I mean, I don't matter, whatever you want to do.
I'll let them just
sir. Thank you. We have a long agenda today. We're gonna be here for a while. Good thing the Spurs don't play today. Doing a great game yesterday.
I forgot to make the judge this tonight. I'll have to take it by the courthouse
All right, Mayor, 15 minutes are up.
How are you? Better have. Gotta have a raise. That's my wife, he's not over here. And one for really quickly, so two graduations for our 4-year-old.
Okay, if everyone could slowly ease your way back onto the dais and into the chambers, we'd appreciate it. We'll start in just about another minute or so. Thank you. Huh? She just turned 11. Yeah, just turned 11. 5/10/15 is her birthday. May 10th, 2015. So I'll always remember it. And she was born on Mother's Day, and her birthday was on Mother's Day this year. Yeah. That's incredible. She's such a precious angel. I mean, yeah, of course, I've only got one. Y'all got more than me, but anyway. I know, exactly. Okay. Is everybody here? Let's see, I'm missing Miss Bolton. Is she? I'll give it about another couple of seconds and, yeah. She is. I'll wait for her. How about those Spurs? Ooh, I didn't stay up for it, but I was so glad that they won. Yeah, it's so stressful. I agree. Ooh.
If it gets that close, I just go away.
No.
They do better without me.
No.
It's a good thing I've already got the 3 lines. Yes, that's exactly what I told Yvonne.
There she is. Okay. Ms. Bolt, we're about ready to start. Thank you. All right, we will continue with agenda item number 5, presentations continued. It's approximately 7:13 on Tuesday, May the 19th. Agenda item 5.1, Presentation, discussion, and possible direction to staff on how to set up the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee, CPAC. And we have we have Mr. Guardo and our city manager here to present. Thank you, and good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Uh-huh.
And so essentially at our last meeting, we discussed maybe selecting the committee from different areas of the community. I sent you out all a roster, and then I preliminary, with Michael's help, went ahead and, well, actually, he created the map and assigned y'all to different segments. You don't have to pick these segments. I just kind of threw y'all in a segment. You don't have to pick people in that segment. You can go back on that if you have people that you want to select. So I put 2 maps in there, one that just broke it out into segments and didn't assign anybody to anything. Then we just kind of, to give you a jump start, did a draft one and it kind of assigned y'all to an area. If that's what y'all wanted to do. If not, if you have people in mind that are outside of your area, you don't have to do this. You can just pick people on the roster. The goal is for each of the council members to pick 2 appointees and the mayor to pick 3. And y'all would make your appointment at the next meeting. You don't have to tell me who they are now. You can make, but we would need to know in order to add that to the agenda for the June 2nd meeting.
Okay, thank
So-
you. I thank you very much for the effort in the map, but I would just prefer just to go off the roster and people that we know in the community to ask. The main thing is, for my benefit, would be like that we don't ask the same person. So that's, how do we do that? And I mean, I can.
Talk about your people now.
Yeah, I think we can talk about our people now. So I know that from the Earthwise, Linda Meffert said she would serve, and she lives in Adair. And again, we want people from various places. And then I also asked Matt Hody on El Verde, but he did not commit yet, but I'll follow back up with him, and he's on El Verde, so that's another area. So those are the 2 people I've asked, but I do have a third, but I just wanted to see if y'all had any other thoughts too. Councilor Marsh.
I have talked to Travis Leach and asked him. He's on the library committee, and he's in Seneca West. I have another person in mind, but I haven't talked to them yet, who's in Seneca Estates.
Okay, and Councilor Orozco.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with you as well, because the people that I had in mind are not in the district that I've been assigned to, or at least I believe there's no name on it.
There's no name on it. I
Yeah,
said,
so
Counselor,
maybe-
must be Orozco.
But I did want to ask Dr. Cardetta if, in our CPAC, we got people that own property, business property. Are they excluded from being part of the members?
No, they're not excluded. You can have whoever you want on your committee. I would just say that the people that are, that are on this committee, are impacting your city by developing the plan. So they may be business owners, but they may not be property owners. So I would just be careful with that, because they're setting the sights on how your community is going to look. And so typically we pick residential homeowners because those are the ones that are going to have to live with this plan. They're vested into the community, but you don't have to. There isn't any parameters on who you select.
Did you have somebody in mind? Did you have somebody in mind?
I want to ask them
Okay,
first, yes.
all right,
Yeah,
sounds
I've
good.
been, definitely going to try to put my wife on there.
Okay, that was your pick, huh? Counselor Heil.
Will Bradshaw had expressed an interest in doing it when he found out there were only 4 or 5 meetings. And there's some other people that are on the committees that I haven't asked them, but some of those people, I think from the planning and zoning, the young man.
Right, Russell Hernandez is who you were
Yes.
going to ask.
I think
yeah.
he would be very good.
Okay, very good. And Mr. Bradshaw's in Monte Robles, so that's another area. Okay. And Counselor Bolton.
I have a couple people in mind, but I would like to speak with them first.
Sure, you betcha.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So we'll get it together.
Add, we promised, because we're going to be off for a little while, so we promised Alada or Ardura that we would start appointing the committee. Will y'all have your appointees by June 2nd? Is my question.
Yes, we will. Now, what day do we have to get them to you in order to be on the agenda? That's going to be. No.
No,
Next Tuesday or Wednesday? Could we do Wednesday after the Labor Day or the Memorial Day holiday?
no, because we have to post because of the Labor Day holiday, it shortens our time frame for posting.
Uh-huh.
And so we have to post by Tuesday, not Wednesday.
Oh.
So, me and you are meeting on Tuesday, but we also have to post that day.
Okay.
The agenda piece, the packet, we can post all the way up until Friday. So,
So we can post the names until Friday? Is that what you're saying?
where's Sandra at? Oh,
I
she's
mean,
not- she left.
if
Or not left, but she's in
if
our
that's
office.
the case, that
I think
gives
you'll
us
be
a little bit
okay.
more
I think
time.
you'll be okay. You're just appointing your members to the committee. I don't think their names have to be on the agenda, so I just
Okay,
need
that
their
gives
names.
us a little bit more, no, a week from this Friday. So that's going to be May 29th.
Okay.
May
And,
29th is the drop dead deadline, yeah, okay.
and so, yes, because then she'll post the packet at that time.
Okay, and I will follow with Counselor Campos as well and let him know. I don't know if he's listening, but yeah,
Okay.
to give him that deadline as well. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Do appreciate it. Mr. Gallardo, do you have anything to add to this?
No, just that we'll need those names.
Okay, just that you need these names. I understand. I understand, thank you. And will there, I know it's open to anybody, but we don't have a counselor liaison to this particular meeting. Okay. Okay, very good, all right. Yeah. It's just generally that we're gonna, so our deadline's gonna be May the 29th, Friday, to get you the names. That be okay? Okay, sounds great. Okay, thank you so much, Sandra, do appreciate your help. All right, thank you, Mr. Gallardo. So then let's move then to, if that's sufficient direction, then we'll go to 5.2, presentation and direction to staff to amend Chapter 15 zoning, Article 15.02 zoning ordinance, Division 7 permitted use table. And we have Dr. Caldera and
Yes.
Michael Gallardo, our planning and zoning director, here to present. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and
Mhm,
Council.
good evening.
So what I would like to do for this item is go through each of you and have y'all make suggestions to the zoning commission's changes. And so that way we do it structurally so I can get all those changes on record. So if you have any issues with the zoning commission's recommendations, then say no, yes, whatever, and whatever your issue is, or any questions. We can do one by one.
Okay.
And get those incorporated.
Unfortunately, Mr. Campos is not here.
He gave me his comments. Y'all aren't voting tonight. You will hear it again, but we can get those incorporated.
Did he say anything about, we had a suggestion from one of the planning and zoning members for Russell Hernandez, who guided them through the permitted use tables, to have a meeting with the council to guide us through the permitted use tables. That was the suggestion. And I thought Mr. Campos was going to bring that up today. Again, he's not here, so I'm not sure.
So I did talk to him. His
Okay.
suggestions this evening didn't have anything to do with procedure.
Mhm.
He wanted to ensure that we maybe looked at removing cemetery, since we only have one left, like we can leave that off, or just remove it completely. And then he had questions on the boarding houses and the nursing homes, like the questions on that when we got to that particular item. And so y'all are free to do whatever you would like to do. There isn't a time frame. We'd like this done sooner rather
Right.
than later. But if you would like to have a separate meeting with Russell Hernandez, just have him go through the process with you, then y'all are more than welcome to do so. I just need to schedule that with him and get a schedule, or y'all's availability as well.
Okay.
Or we can go one by one, or if you have like specific questions, then we can get those specific questions down to prep for that meeting with Russell Hernandez, if that makes sense. So whatever y'all would like to do.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought we were going to have this special meeting because that's the direction that I was given by anyway. And Mr. Campos had said he was going to bring it up. So I'm not prepared to go through personally, but I can for the next meeting. And you said there was not a deadline, so.
I mean, there is not
yeah.
a deadline. I
So
mean,
I'm
again,
not-
it's
yeah.
been a long time, sooner
Mhm.
rather than later. But
But-
if y'all would like to hold a special meeting, if that's the consensus of the council,
that-
I'm fine with that.
And please speak
I'd
up
rather
and
do that.
tell me.
There's
Yeah.
some things that came up to my attention, but I'd like to research them before I
Yeah,
bring it up to the board.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I didn't look
You
at
know,
this
whether it
real
be in the air
carefully.
condition and also the alcohol sale of 200 feet and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm okay with a special meeting.
Okay, and Counselor, okay, so that's
Now
what
I'm
we'll
gonna put
do.
you on the spot. Do y'all have a date?
Well, I'm wondering, because well, maybe we could do it before the June 2nd meeting,
Okay.
possibly, or could we incorporate it into, yeah, I was just thinking that, or we could possibly incorporate it into the retreat, but I don't know how long.
Oh, no, I
Probably
think,
not. 'Cause
I don't think
okay.
so. But I mean, we can definitely call Mr. Hernandez and get his availability.
Yeah.
And then I can reach out to y'all.
And Counselor Bolton, will you be finished with school on June the 3rd? You will not.
The 4th is my last day.
The 4th.
I was going to suggest on the 10th, since we're getting together for that training already, what if we just came a little bit earlier and met, since we're already meeting?
Oh, for the review of the dispatch? Okay, okay. June 10th?
That one's gonna be at 1, you'll have to be here for that. I was gonna mention it in my city manager's report by 12:15, 12:30, so we can depart from here at 12:45 promptly and be there by 1.
Okay.
So what if we met here at 10?
Well, it depends upon Mr. Hernandez's
Correct,
schedule, and I
may
know he
work or
works.
go to school, yeah, so he may not be available early in the
Well,
morning.
why
It
don't
may
we
need to be-
explore the 10th, but I think that's a good
Or
good
maybe even
alternative. Thank you, Ms.
after
Bolton.
the
Yeah, maybe
dispatch?
after.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, so we will look at
June the 10th.
June the 10th.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm glad you had that suggestion.
Okay, thank
And-
you.
All right. So June the 4th is your magic day then, right? I know, you're so excited. Okay. All right, so then we'll move then to 5.3, presentation, discussion, and possible action on project costs for SAWS recycled water irrigation system for Hebner Creek Greenway Hike and Bike Trail Phase 1. We have Dave Demeline, our Public Works Director, here this evening to present. Good evening and welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Mayor and council. So we were directed to develop some costs for engineering and design for the construction of a recycled water irrigation along the Phase 1 portion of the hike and bike trail. And so this is a follow-up. We presented this a little while back. We did meet with SAWS, determined that we can tap into the recycled water main that runs along the trail. And the current trail is, as you know, it's about 9/10 of a mile. And we currently have drip irrigation on 250 trees with potable water currently. So the working with the city engineer, we came up with a proposal the system would be about 3,400 linear feet. We would be converting the existing drip irrigation to using the recycled water. That would include 2 connections along the recycled water main. It would give us about a 17-foot radius on each side of the trail for irrigation. It would include filtration to remove any debris from the water and also include a booster pump. So our cost estimate for the engineering and design is $24,750. Construction estimate is about $341,941 for a total of $366,691. So if we were to proceed with option A, we have available in this current fiscal year, we have $107,000 in the budget. The cost for engineering, as I mentioned, is $24,750. We would then carry over the remaining balance of $82,250, leaving a remaining budget number of $259,691. And then option B would be to just, if we kept what's existing.
Right, exactly. Okay, thank you. Yes, City Manager Caldera.
Yes, so Mr. Campos wanted me to just mention how important it is for y'all to understand that if we don't go with option A, that we're still using potable water in order to water the trees.
Gotcha.
And so I did want to make that point on the record for him
Sure.
since he wasn't here this evening. And then secondly, what I was reading the tree mitigation ordinance, and in the tree mitigation ordinance, it allows you to use the money to replant and maintain trees. So you could essentially, if you wanted to, pull a portion from your tree mitigation fund in next year's budget. And so we would just need some direction from y'all to see if that's what you want to add to the budget next year as a capital expense. So we would roll over the 107,000 that you have in the FY26 budget. Like, we wouldn't spend it on the irrigation system for this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'd roll the 107 for next year, and we take the 259 from your tree mitigation fund. And we would just plug it into the budget, and then you can have a conversation again when we're discussing the budget for next fiscal year.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted
Providing
to,
that as an option.
I just wanted to be sure. I know, David, I mean, you've looked for grants, partnerships, I mean, anything to help us reduce this cost? I'm sure you have. I've just, yeah. And we,
As of right now,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything
Hmm.
that would fall in under this category.
mm-hmm.
But, definitely we're always looking.
Okay, all right. And then how much do we have in the tree mitigation? And this would be 259,000, so that balance, you'd give us those figures so we know what we have left.
Yes, because I
Okay.
also have money plugged in for next year under that capital.
Right,
But-
for
budget-
dead tree
for dead
removal.
tree
That's right.
removal.
Okay,
So-
very good.
So anyway, I would give you an ending
Okay,
fund balance
very
for
good.
that.
Let me hear from Counselor Mersch and then Counselor Bolton. Thank you. And
Um,
Counselor Roscoe.
The information that I would like to see is how much potable water are we using, whether it's on a monthly basis or, an annual basis, as kind of a balance to say option B isn't going to cost us anything isn't really true. I mean, it's costing us a lot of potable water. So I would like to see that to put these expenses in a more context.
I think that's an excellent idea.
That was my
I really
question
do.
also. That's
Thank you.
exactly what I
Yeah.
wanted to know. How much money
Uh-huh.
are we saving by using non-potable water?
Oh,
Well,
Thank
because
you.
it's our water, technically,
Well-
it doesn't have a monetary cost, but yes, we can give you the gallons.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Anything else? Yes, Counselor Roscoe.
Recycled water runs about 241 per 1,000 gallons, I believe. So it's about half the price, but we can look at the numbers of what we're using currently. Definitely.
So basically, you're saying that recycled water is one half the cost of potable water?
Roughly, yes.
Okay, so we're going to save whatever that is, half. Okay. Yes, Counselor
Well,
Roscoe.
Today, they raised the water by 33%, which means they're going to raise the potable water as well. Hopefully, they don't for us.
That
but,
SAWS?
uh,
Is that SAWS that
SAWS,
raised it?
33%. Today, they,
Okay.
and I
But now
definitely
that's, excuse me.
think that we have a lot of more urgent needs that are coming up to the council in the next year or 2 years. And, one of them that we have to really look at is the evidence room for the police department. And that's not if we would like to have one, but by law, we have to accommodate all the evidence that we have in it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm saying that, if we take option B, the trees are still being saved and the trees are still being watered. I don't see investing $366,691 at this time. That's just my.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're making that decision right now.
No, I just
But,
wanted to know whether
yeah.
or not you wanted me to use option A and kind of put it in the budget for discussion, or you just wanted to kill the
But
item?
I thought you also had a plan to cover the evidence room, right?
Well,
In the CIP, didn't you,
not to cover the evidence room, to
but I
cover
mean-
for the plan and
No,
engineering.
that's right, the engineering, that's right.
And so, right now, we have a Band-Aid approach that we're currently working on. We're building some walls in the police department right now in order to store the overflow until the council can make a decision, or we can build that secondary room.
Okay, yes, Counselor Bolton.
Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought that the funds that would go towards this are coming from a different account than what we're talking about, the evidence room.
I'm proposing that, but that doesn't mean the council would have to choose those funds. That is
Okay.
correct.
But it would help, the tree mitigation fund would help alleviate some of this cost, so we wouldn't be taken away from the fire department to do this
That
kind
is
of thing.
correct.
That's
That's
right.
what I needed to point out. Thank you.
Yeah, Okay. Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I would be in favor of the city manager proposing this so that it gets further discussion during the budget process. I would not want to kill it right now. We can always kill it later. But to look at funding sources and how much we're going to save in potable water and, is that a real thing in terms of our population growth or having to buy more water or whatever. But I would like to see this get developed a little further so that we can have an intelligent discussion during the budget.
I think that's a good suggestion. Is everybody,
Okay, to see what other avenues
everybody
we have.
agreed to that? Okay, all right, so that's the direction. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. Okay, announcements by the mayor and council. Let's see, I had some announcements. All right, I just wanted to again thank Judge Sakai for coming today. I mean, it was like I told him, I said, you had to come all the way from downtown to here. And he goes, well, I had a driver. And I said, oh, never mind. Because I'm thinking about all the traffic. But anyway, thank you, Your Honor. We just really appreciate your presence. The budget survey is online, and we need to hear from you. And the deadline is June the 1st. So please, citizens, and express your opinion on what are your budget priorities. And then also we have a primary election runoff is May 26th, and the early voting is this week till Friday at the Conference Center. And then I wanted to thank our new ED director. I think she's not here. But anyway, she set 3 grand openings up in the next couple of weeks, and so thank you for doing that. We've got Sapphire, I can't remember the last name, but Collect District and Teriyaki Master. These are new businesses that are coming in, and over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have some grand openings. So thank you, Sarah, for your organization. June 2nd will be our last city council meeting until July 21st. This is our second year to do this, to give the council and staff some kind of a break, but it also enables the staff to really dig deep into the budget. So I know Dr. Caldera appreciates that time as well, and we do too. So thank you to get that draft budget. And then again, mark your calendar for the city's 4th of July celebration, 9:30 to 12:30 at the community center, and you'll get some more information in the Lion's Roar. And I know I'd be remiss because Philip Campos is not here, but he always loves to tell you about the library program. And one thing that stood out to me was the TSLAC Special Projects Grant Program for $75,000 establishes a consistent long-term adult education and workforce development service at the library, transitioning from occasional programming to an ongoing service model. And she said she submitted that grant on February 9th, 2026, and they were notified on April 27th that the grant has been recommended for funding. So congratulations, Regina Reed, our library director, for that. Do appreciate it. And again, she submitted various grants, but that one has come through. So congratulations. All right. With that said, yes, Councilor Mersch, what would you like to say?
On behalf of the Earthwise Living Committee, I have a thank you note to the City Council that I would like to read. It says, "Thank you, Leon Valley City Council. In Leon Valley, where shared purpose grows, you showed us care in ways each neighbor knows. With open hands and hearts that lead the way, you lifted up our Earthwise Living Day. Through tender care, through quiet, steady grace, you helped create a warm, connected place with threads of effort woven, strong yet kind, a net of care that holds our shared design. So here's our thanks, sincere in every part, for time and care and deeply giving heart. Your special Saturday support we see. We're grateful for the framework of community. We appreciate your support at the 36th Annual Earthwise Living Day, which was on March 7th, 2026, and of the mission statement of the Earthwise Living Committee, which is to educate residents of our community and the City Council about impactful ways to develop a sustainable and resilient way of life in harmony with the environment and mitigate climate change, while boosting economic growth and quality of life, enabling Leon Valley to thrive in the future as a great place to live, work, and recreate."
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, anyone else like? Has any announcements? Okay. With that said, then we will move to agenda item number 7, the city manager's report. Dr. Caldera. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The only item I have to add for addition to this is I put the draft retreat agenda in front of y'all at your place. You have until this Friday if you would like to add anything to that retreat agenda. Last time we ran out of time and we had to carry over, like to a separate meeting, and so I know it was a little conflicting, so I'm trying to keep it within reason this time. So if you don't see anything on there, maybe I can merge it with another item, so, but please give me your items no later than this Friday. Your original deadline was last Friday, and the only one that submitted items was the mayor. So I'm giving you one more deadline, which is this Friday, and that will give me 3 days to kind of put your packets together, 3 to 4 days to put your packets together. So the sooner I get them, the better, if you would like to add items.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right. Anything else? That was the only
No, that was the only
announcement.
item. Thank you,
Okay,
Mayor.
very good. Then we move to the consent agenda. I do have 8.1 through 8.5. I do want to ask for an amendment from my colleagues on agenda item number 8.5. We've excused Philip Campos, but we also need to excuse Danielle Bolton. She was working that day. So if we could add her to that action, please. And then if we have a motion with that amendment, then we can approve it. All right.
I second it.
All right. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the amendment to 8.5 as discussed. It was moved by Councilor Roscoe and seconded by Councilor Mersch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, now, on the regular agenda, I would like to make this proposal to my colleagues, and you can certainly, tell me yes or tell me no. I would like to move regular agenda 9.11 at the end of this section, so that and I would like to hear the presentation, but if we have that option to go into executive session for a consultation with our attorney. And so I thought it would flow better if we had it at the end, because I think agenda 9.2, 3, 4, and 5 will be fairly quick. And I hate for people to sit out here while we're in executive session. So if there's no objection, can we move 9.1 to the last item under the regular agenda?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Everybody else? Okay. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. So then we move to 9.2 as discussed. Presentation, discussion, and possible action on a request for a variance to the Leon Valley Code of Ordinances, Chapter 13, Tree Preservation, Article 13.02, Tree Preservation Ordinance, Division 3, Requirements and Restrictions, Section 13.02.074, Preservation Requirements, Section 13.02.075, Removal, Replacement, or Relocation of Medium and Large Trees, Section 13.02.076, Replacement Trees Required, Penalties, Subsection A and Subsection B, Section 13.02.80, Heritage Tree Removal Prohibited, Penalties to allow the removal of 1 heritage tree, 2 medium trees, and 2 large trees, and pay no tree mitigation fees, located at 5307 Wurzbach Road, CB 4429A, Block 4, Lot 30, Rolling Wood Ridge Subdivision, on approximately 2.75 acres of land. And we have our Planning and Zoning Director, Michael Gallardo, here this evening to present. Good evening, Michael, and welcome.
Good evening. So the question before you is, should the council grant a tree preservation variance to allow the removal of 1 heritage tree, 2 medium, and 2 large trees, and pay no tree mitigation fee for the address at 5307 Wurzbach Road, County Block 4429A, Block 4, Lot 30, Rolling Ridge Subdivision, on approximately 2.7 acres of land. So your options are to grant the variance, deny, or other. The declaration is that at council's discretion, tree removal will accommodate orderly development of area. So as you know, this is a revised
Right.
submittal. So the revised tree preservation plan proposes to maintain 80% of the existing 660 caliper inches of trees. Previously, he was going to just retain 48%. So a significant change there. Per the revision of the tree mitigation fees in the amount of 18.8, that would no longer apply. And I'll explain that in a bit. The applicant will replace more caliber inches than is being removed. Thus, it negates the mitigation fees. So this is the original mitigation summary. Again, it came out to 18,800. He was gonna remove 340 inches and only replace 152. Part of the original mitigation, again, these were the trees that he was gonna remove on the, the trees that he was gonna save on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, and then again, only replacing 152 inches, right? So the proposed preservation summary is as follows. So out of 660 inches, I mean, he's made a significant change, and this next slide will probably demonstrate it better. So he went from removing 6 heritage trees to only removing 1, and then again, he's going to continue to replace the original 152 inches. This is an aerial view, and I know that the last time we talked about how that was challenging to the developer. We broke it up into 2 pieces. We talked a little bit about the parking lot on the left-hand side, and then we kind of zoomed in on the development side, which is the right-hand side, which has the primary, well, significantly, out of 7 heritage trees, those are located on the right-hand side. And again, this is the original tree survey. You can see how impactful it is to the parking lot. You can see how impactful it is to his original submittal. And again, I demonstrated that there were, clusters of trees, making it difficult to just cut one tree down. If you had to cut one, you probably have to cut them all. This is part of the original tree survey. This is the big 6 that we talked about the last time, right? These are our heritage trees. And you can see how they pretty much take over his whole project, actually. So what did the developer do? He revised his plan. So the first thing you're going to notice is on the right-hand side, he moved both buildings. And what does that do? So basically, you'll see that the 5 blue dots are the heritage trees that he was originally going to cut. So now that he's moved both buildings, he's able to save those trees. However, the red one on the top is one that he's going to still, to make the development work, he'll be required to cut that one. If you look at the yellow line on the left-hand side, basically what that's saying is there's an easement there, so that building cannot be pushed any further to the left. Okay, so there's a stopping point there. So again, in defense of the developer, he's made every attempt to try to save as many trees as he can, but at that point, that one tree, which is a 30-inch one, does need to be cut for, to make the development a success, right? So city code mandates that for each medium tree removed, 1 tree of 6 or more in diameter be planted, and for each large tree, 1 tree of 8 inches or more in diameter be planted. City code prohibits the removal of any heritage tree regardless of species. Per code, up to 25% of the required trees may be mitigated rather than preserved unless insufficient land area exists to plant the required total caliper width of replacement trees. Then cash in lieu amount may be increased up to 50% of the required replacement tree amount. Applicant is keeping 80% of the trees on the site. So all of that's pretty much been negated, right? So a variance may be granted after consideration of approval by the City Council where a literal enforcement of the provision of the article will result in unnecessary hardship. We're specifically talking about that one heritage tree, of course. No variance may be granted unless such variance will not be contrary to the public interest. Such variance will be in harmony with the spirit and purposes of this article. The variance sought is due to unique circumstances existing on the property, and the unique circumstances were not created by the owner of the property and are not merely financial. The variance will not substantially weaken the general purposes of the tree preservation ordinance. So, the developer kind of felt appropriate that we would still use these slides. I know that we used them the last time. So one of the things you'll notice is the buildings are going to be moved, but he did want to demonstrate to City Council that he is committed to, you know, replacing the trees. He's still committed to providing the buffers up front and along both sides of the property. Again, the significant changes is the buildings have moved. And so this is what it would look like off of Warsbach Road. And I know the last time we had a brief discussion on like what the tree sizes were going to be and all that. That's still to be determined.
Okay.
The granting of this variance would facilitate the development of a mosque and learning center, which may increase sales tax revenue as parishioners shop in Leon Valley. At the discretion of City Council is what's recommended.
Okay, very good. And is Mr. Akhtar, is he here?
Absolutely.
Very good, yes. Please come forward. Thank you. We appreciate you being here, and I had a moment to speak to him before the council meeting, and I thanked him for working with the council on saving these trees. I mean, you know, that just tells you where there's a will, there's a way. And so thank you for that. Really appreciate partnering with us. So it's a win-win for you and for the city.
Good evening, Mayor.
Yes,
and the city councils. Yes, after the last meeting, it was a shocker for me. And I was driving back, trying to recall what had happened and what went wrong. I realized that the decision was appropriate. It was too much of a destruction over there of getting 6 heritage trees out. So we went and we looked at it, and kind of even a suggestion came, why don't we move the building towards the corners? So we went to the landscaping, our landscaping designer, and we started doing that, and it turned out that it really worked out because there was hardly any trees in those areas anyway. So we kind of managed everything around it. Actually, it's probably going to be a much more beautiful site now with all the trees around the parking area, and everything is in front. So we did try to save that 30-inch tree because originally we thought that we will put one building on one side of 30-inch tree and the other one on the other side of 30-inch tree. But we couldn't do that because of the sewer easement over there, so we had to sacrifice that. Otherwise, we would have saved all of them. So thank you very much. It was an eye-opener for me, but it was well deserved, and I think we did all the effort we could. And most of the trees which we are planting actually is on the perimeter. So all 4 perimeters will have tall trees. So that's why our 152-inch of a replanting did not change. Because there were hardly any trees which was going in. It was all basically on circumference of the.
It'll be on the
of the property.
On the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Great. Thank you. Yes, Councilor Mersch, really appreciate it, Mr. Akhtar.
I too want to add my appreciation. I think that it wasn't an easy thing to do because you at the last meeting you had already said we tried to look at other ways of doing things, but I really appreciate the vision of seeing what could be instead of what you might have initially had in your head for what this property would be developed as. So, I mean, I agree with you. I think that it's going to be a more beautiful site the way that you have it now, in addition to saving the trees and going down from, 6 heritage trees to only having to lose 1 is a huge, huge improvement. And I appreciate all of your efforts, your architects' efforts, everybody working together to try and make sure that we retain as much of the natural beauty and the natural heritage that we have here in Leon Valley. Thank you.
Yeah, we were just fixated on 2 buildings being together because of communication and all that. But in further thought process, as you said, start thinking out of the box. I said, it's really still can be maintained even if you do the buildings differently.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Okay. All right. So we are able to vote on this tonight. And so what is the pleasure of the council? Yes, Councilor Orozco.
Thank you, Mayor. Unless you want to. again, thank you so much for meeting us more than halfway. It really makes a difference. Thank you so much. Just simply, I'd like to, on regular agenda 9.2, I'd like to approve the request for the variances as stated.
I'd like to second that motion.
So we have a motion by Counselor Orozco and a second by Counselor Mersch to approve 9.2, the tree variance as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. I'm sorry? Nay. Nay. Okay, it carries 3 ayes and 1 nay. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing the project to fruition in the years to come. Okay, thank you. All right, then let me do 3.1. Agenda item number 9.3. This is a public hearing, discussion and possible action, reaffirming ordinance 2026-3, removing chapter 15 zoning, section 15.02.327, PD, Plan Development District, from the city's Code of Ordinance. And our first read was held on February 17th, 2026. And would you like to give some
Yes.
background on this? Because
So
I know
it
you've
actually-
given me the background, but I
Yes,
would like
so
other
actually,
people.
it says first read, but it was actually second read. Y'all have already voted on this item. Y'all have already deleted the PDD from y'all's Code of Ordinances. But when we sent out the original notice when we were reviewing the PDD, and if y'all remember, we originally were going to amend the PDD. So the notice went out to the surrounding properties that the PDD was going to be amended. And through that process, we were looking at different criteria. We went back and forth a few meetings. And then at the end of the day, we decided to delete the PDD. Well, the notice technically didn't let the property owners know that the PDD option was going to be deleted. It stated that it was going to be amended. And so out of an overabundance of caution, and to make sure I check all the boxes, I wanted to make sure we gave proper notice to everybody. This does not impact the current PDDs. That question came up that night when we asked the attorney, if we delete the PDDs, would this impact the current PDDs that currently exist? And the attorney said no. Y'all have already voted on them. They're in the middle of their projects. They are currently active. It doesn't impact the current PDDs. So Seneca West continues. Century Communities was here earlier. I, told them I would mention that they were here, and that it does not impact Sena 1 and or Sena 2. All it does is it impacts future future developers or individuals from coming in and requesting a PDD, because you no longer have that option available to you. So that is the background. This is really a housekeeping item. I just wanted to make sure if anything came down in the future that box was checked and that we notified everybody.
Okay. But we still have a public hearing. We want to hear from people, open and close, and a vote. Or no
a
vote?
vote to reaffirm.
To reaffirm. Okay, I just wanted to be sure for that direction. Okay, so on this agenda item 9.3, we're going to open the public hearing at 7:56 on Tuesday, May the 19th, and to hear from anyone in our chambers that would like to address this agenda item 9.3. Yes, please come and state your name and where you just generally reside. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Yes.
I'm Thomas Nolan. I live at 6105 Sundial. I own the property, the duplex at Seneca and Evers,
Seneca and Evers, okay, right.
right next to where they're now building.
Trilogy. Mhm.
And so I got the letter to come in,
Mhm.
and my first comment would be, when these letters come out, this means absolutely nothing to me. I have no idea what, so if
It's
you
confusing.
could, in the future, maybe just put a little line on it, this is what this says, and don't worry about it, go back to sleep, or whatever.
Okay.
So I am interested in, what are we doing? What does this mean? Because it may impact my property. The map
Okay.
indicates,
Okay, very good.
there's quite a bit of property.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let Dr. Caldera respond.
So I thought there was a clarifying thing. I think I put in there on January such and such, the city council voted to delete the PDD in that notification. Is that not in that notification?
It may be, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't understand what all
Oh,
that means.
okay.
Yeah.
So essentially what happened is everybody within 200 feet of a PDD, which in front of your property, you have a PDD where the additional duplexes are going off of Heavener Road. And so you're within that 200 feet. So you received the notification that we are no longer going to have PDDs. But that original PDD still continues as is because council have already voted and gave him the PDD designation. But we're required to notice him and the surrounding property that PDDs in the future will no longer be an option. So anybody that has a current PDD has to receive the notice, and anybody within 200 feet of that PDD also has to receive the notice. It's really a housekeeping item. It doesn't really impact your property. It doesn't impact your property at all. It doesn't impact the current PDDs that are currently underway. All it does is allow all the developers that are currently have projects and all the residents that are in the area know that PDDs will no longer be an option.
Okay.
That's all that means.
Okay. So the bottom line for me is nothing to worry about impacting the property.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
We really appreciate you coming and caring about getting an answer to your question. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Anyone else? All right. If there's no one else that would like to address this, we will close the public hearing at 7:59 on May the 19th and stand in line for a motion. Yes, the motion would be to reaffirm this ordinance.
I move to reaffirm the ordinance 2026-3, removing the PDD from the city's code of ordinances.
All right. We have a motion by Councilor Mersch and a second by Councilor Bolton to reaffirm ordinance 2026-3, removing Chapter 15 zoning P Plan Development District from the City Code of Ordinances. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you very much. Then we move to agenda item 9.4, presentation and discussion on an ordinance amending the City of Leon Valley Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, Article 4.06, garage sales, and Appendix A, Article A 17.000, miscellaneous fees, Section A 17.002, garage sale permit. This is a first reading as required by the city charter. We will not vote tonight, but we can decide to put it on the June 2nd council meeting in the consent agenda, if you so please. So we have Sandra Posley, our city secretary, here to present. Thank you.
Heck,
Really
I only
appreciate
get
it.
to bring fun stuff tonight. I get the swearing in, the garage sales, and mayor pro tem, so I am the fun person tonight.
Okay.
So this is just following up on the last council meeting where you're adding a second citywide garage sale to the 4 that are allowed. So now you're proposing to have 2 citywide and 2 on their own sales, and those 2 on their own would have a $5 permit fee, whereas the citywide one would have no fee, like we have been. The city will continue to do the ad in the Express News, which does run 4 days each, and that's it. It just cut off. And that's
Okay.
it. That's based on our last discussion.
Very good, yeah. I had a question, and that is, are we going to set dates for spring and fall for both of them, so it's consistent every year?
Well, I think because I didn't get any negative about having it when we did this year. I know it was earlier than normal, but I think I've already kind of looked, but with National Night Out and TML, I'm thinking like late September. I don't want to get into the holidays, but, I do know how people start getting into their garages for, Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they want to clean it all out. So I'm going to consider some of that, but I need to look at the holidays.
Okay, all right.
But it'll be
Yes.
earlier than later.
Councilor Mersch, who held
I have
a
a-
garage sale
I
this
do.
year.
I participate in the
Yeah.
citywide garage sales, but I've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
So your you're saying this, that you can have 2 on your own and 2 of the citywide. Does that mean that a citizen could not have 4 on their own and pay the $5 for each one of the 4?
The way your ordinance stands right now, yes, because the city council has allowed 4 per year. One, and the way they worded that first one was, it was 4 per year, one of which would be a citywide garage sale. So you can change it if you want to do 2 citywide and 3 on their own. I mean, it's up to you. That's
Well,
this
I'm
amendment
fine
is.
with the 4, but I'm just looking for some clarification, because the thing about the citywide is sometimes it can be a great thing and other times it can be a lot of competition. And so some people may choose to just pick their own dates and still have 4 during the year if that's an option. And my second question is the $5 fee required if you want to use all 3 days of a garage sale that happened during the citywide garage sale, since that's only a 1-day sale? Do you have to pay your $5 fee if you want to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Basically, if you did this, so say you signed up for the citywide garage sale next weekend, which is a 1-day deal, but you wanted to have it Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday and Friday and Saturday, whatever, you would have to pay that permit fee.
Okay.
That's the way it stands already.
But that would count as it still would be one of my 4.
Right.
Okay.
Because you're adding those 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's up to y'all. If you wanted to have just the 2 citywide and add another one, or leave it with it as it is, that's fine. Like I told you last month, Beth in permits did say that there have been a couple of them that have gotten to the 4.
So
what do you
I'm not
think?
really asking to have it changed, maybe clarified.
Okay, in what way? How would you?
Because what I saw on the screen was
Right here?
2 of the 4 garage sales will be citywide, where no permit. And maybe it needs to say can be.
Or maybe, yeah, or can be.
Maybe the citywide garage sales which require no permit.
The way that it is written right now says 1 of the 4 will be a citywide. So I was just following the language that you
Okay.
have right now, but it can be changed, but that sounds kind
And
of
maybe
gray
I'm the
to
only one
me.
that's not, that thinks that it could be confusing. I mean, I think the first bullet point is very clear. You're still allowed 4 garage sales per 12-month period. So if you focus on that one, I'm good. But then the citywide doesn't necessarily have to be 2 and 2. I guess that's what I'm looking to clarify.
I think I would just clarify that they need to pay the fee if they're going to do.
Have the whole 3-day or something. I don't know,
Well, we make
maybe
that
I'm
clear
making much
when-
about
We do
nothing.
make that clear when they call in to get on the list. They'll ask, what if I want to do it a second day? And then I'll tell them, you have to come in and get a
Okay.
permit, because that does
So is it
count.
$5 per day?
No,
Per permit.
$5.
Just $5, but if you want to have it 3 days, it's still just
Still 5.
$5.
So a garage sale is 3 days normally. It's
Oh,
up
it
to
is.
3 days.
Because I've never had a garage
so-
sale. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is so reasonable compared to San Antonio. So thank you.
Okay, so did you want
I
to change
think
it in
I'm-
any way, or just leave it?
Just leave it. Just
Okay.
leave it.
Okay.
I think that first, if we have on there clearly that you're allowed 4 garage sales per 12-month period, that overrides the division of citywide versus private sale.
And would y'all want to start that permit in 27 and not now, like finish off 26 as is and just get the information out, or? how
Well,
would
are
you
we
want
going to have one of course, it'll be the new fiscal year.
Right.
a-
Yeah.
After September 30th, so,
Right.
yeah.
So it would be, if you want to make it effective September 1st?
Well, let me hear from
or 30th?
Counselor Heil. What do you think?
This is something different, though. Should
Okay.
we try to schedule some of the garage sales, the city garage sales, around Tiger pickup, trash pickup, so that what you don't sell in your sale, you can put on the street and get rid of it, instead of taking it back in your garage?
We're dealing with that at home right now also, and it's hard because you've got, like our brush pickup is July 5th. And they're like, well, let's have a garage sale first. I'm like, who wants to do all that? So I don't know, it's challenging, but I can look at the
This is-
schedule for this city. I'm not sure, when is the fall one? Uh-huh.
September?
Yet, but they're typically in
September, yeah.
So that's what I was looking for anyway, make kids get back to school and maybe parents have more time to clean out the garage.
Right.
But we can look at it and try to put it with that.
Yes, Counselor Marsh.
Well, and previously, we had also brought up the issue that we want to make sure that our our brush pickup is in sync with our oak wilt cutting allowable time
his
frame.
job.
Yeah, that's Mr. Demoline's
Yeah, so
job.
I'll work with David and we'll try to put them
But
within a couple weeks. of
On
each other.
another note, I think, I understand what you're saying, and I like that because I've seen a lot of stuff out for trash pickup that really should have been recycled or, something else. But I think it would make it more difficult because you have all this brush piled up and people wouldn't be able to see your driveway or park or get out of their cars. And I think it adds a degree of confusion if you try and do it by the brush pickup.
No, I could probably do it like 2 weeks before.
Oh, okay.
That way it's not out. And then I think what she's saying is
Okay.
put it out.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so keep it as is, no other okay, so with that said, then we will, is it the consensus to put it on the consent agenda?
Yes.
For the next meeting, and this would start the
October
fiscal
1st?
year 10/1/26. Okay, very good, thank you. All right, agenda item number 9.5, discussion and possible action to elect a mayor pro tem. I want to thank Councilor Betty Heil for serving as mayor pro tem for the last year, and she's been wonderful, and I hope she'll continue to go to the seniors, because I know you kind of get used to supporting the mayor in many efforts, so thank you for that. I do appreciate it. So this would be, let's see, I'm trying to think, the seniors, grand openings, if I was not able to make a meeting, I mean, in other words, you would just act as the mayor during my absence. So that's basically it. So are there any nominees? Or I know Councilor Orozco's been mayor pro tem before, and then so is Councilor Campos and Councilor Heil. So, yes. You'll volunteer? Okay. What do y'all think? Everybody?
I'll wait. I don't mind. Go ahead. Now that I'm going to be free, I can do stuff like that.
Okay, very good. So, thank you.
Okay.
All right, may I get a motion and a second?
I will make a motion that we accept Beth Merge as our pro tem mayor.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilor Bolton and a second by Councilor Orozco to nominate and approve Councilor Beth Mersch for Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you, and I appreciate your service. All right.
Thank you.
So we go back to agenda item regular 9.1, presentation, discussion, and possible action on an ordinance to amend ordinance 2025-8 to change the zoning from PD Plan Development District with R3 Multiple Family Dwelling Base Zoning District to PD Plan Development District with R6 Garden House Base Zoning District on approximately 6.8 acres of land located at 6612 and 6618 Sawyer Road, and more specifically described as northwest 330 feet of lots 10, 11, 12, 13, and the northeast 20-foot triangle of Lot 10 and the southwest 400-foot of Lot 3, CB 5874. And the first read was held on May the 5th, and we have Michael Gallardo, our Planning and Zoning Director, here to present. I believe this is a new, or a revised plan.
Correct. You guys are going to get tired of me.
And good evening again, and welcome back.
All right, so we're looking to amend ordinance 2025-8, Plan Development District with R3 multiple family dwelling to PD Plan Development District with R6 Garden House District. So of course, we're requesting variances from section 15.02.312 R6 Garden House District. That's actually from our zoning chapter. We're requesting variances from section 10.02.251 applicable standards and specifications, and that's from our subdivision regulations chapter. So, as we discussed the last time, this is the definition of a planned development district. Basically, it's allowing for flexible and creative planning. It allows the goals, objectives, and maps of the city's comprehensive plan, including but not limited to the city's future land use plan. It allows for economic development, compatibility of land uses, innovative planning concepts. So let's jump into our variances. Lot regulation. So the minimum area of lot size decreased from 4,500 to 2,350 square feet, which was what was proposed the last time. Minimum lot depth reduced from 100 feet to 85 feet. Minimum floor space reduced from 1,800 to 1,100 square feet. So it was previously at 1,350, and now we're looking at 1,150 square feet. Minimum frontage reduced from 45 to 28. And then that last bullet point, we're going to go ahead and scratch it out because he's going to meet the what's allowed. He's going to revert back to 2.5 stories.
2.5 stories, okay.
So let's continue with our variances. We reduced our minimum setbacks, the rear from 15 to 8 feet this time. We added the front reduction from 20 feet to 18 feet, so the front wasn't in the last proposal. So the side yard went from 5 to 2.5 or 0, and between buildings we're looking at 10 to 5 feet. So for our applicable standards, we're looking at a minor or private street minimum right-of-way reduced from 50 to 32 feet. Minor or private street pavement width reduced from 30 and it jumped to 22 feet. Corner lots minimum width from 70 feet to 29 feet. So this variance here, or this request is added. This is a new request, right? So he's requesting that, the developer's requesting that the city dedicate 5 feet of right-of-way towards a 10-foot easement for a buffer lane, which makes it safer access, right? So in short, he's asking the city to dedicate 5 feet, and then the developer will dedicate the other 5 feet. This is an attempt to add a safety feature for the collector street where the driveways were backing into the collector street. As you remember the last time, that was pretty much a big concern for the city. So again, this is the same thing here. You'll see that he added another lot there because of the reconfiguration of the site plan. So we went from 18 lots to like 19 now. And I'm only bringing that up in the event that, you know, the suggested buffer doesn't go through. This is the second new request that the developer's asking. He's asking the city to secure and acquire an easement at Crisscross for connection from Posh Road to Sawyer Road. So the illustration there kind of gives you 3 different scenarios as to why it's important for the development success for us to acquire that. And I'll have a better slide later on that kind of points that out for you, kind of breaks it down a little bit. So here's our location map. The next slide is going to be our aerial view. And then these are the surrounding zones. On the north, it's B1 small business, B2 R1 single family dwelling. On the west side, it's R1 and R3 multifamily dwelling. On the east side, it's B1, B2, B3 commercial, and R1. South side is R1, R3, B2, and B3. So then we have a colored map here. This is kind of from our zoning map, so you get a better indication of what's surrounding the property. So this is the original site plan. This is what we're first trying to amend, right? So then the developer came back with a proposed site plan. This is the one that, for the city, raised concerns because the 18 lots were backing into a collector street. So this is our latest revised site plan. So you're going to see at the very bottom, the legend there is going to give you like 38 feet. It's telling you that there's sidewalks. It's telling you your right-of-way. And it all comes out to 38 feet. So if you look at the illustration itself, On the left-hand side, it looks like we added like a play area. I'll kind of point that out there. We removed one of the lots that was here up to here, and then this is the buffer zone that the developer's hoping that, you know, we get 5 feet and he gets 5 feet, right? And I think that's pretty much it for that. Oh, I think it's also important to point out that there's 2 ingress and egresses. So you got this one here, and now we're looking at an ingress egress on the side here off of crisscross, I'm sorry, yeah. So off of crisscross here, you're gonna have a ingress egress. Now this is a site plan without the connection between crisscross to Sawyer, right? So this is pretty much what was submitted. So this is a proposed structure. So this is basically a conceptual design, right? This is what could conceptually be built. So let's jump into some of the comments, right, from staff. Where proposed development will consist of 74 lots for garden house development. Staff recommends the property will be replatted prior to development or construction. So we recommend that the applicant follow the code's tree preservation and mitigation plan process and request a variance if applicable. Staff recommends that no residential R6 lots have driveway access to a collector due to its safety hazards, right? The ingress egress concerns.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure.
Is that still even with the 5 feet and 5 feet?
Well, this is based on whether or not we provide that. So in other words, if council decides not to, then it's still an issue.
Okay.
But we haven't really determined that yet.
Okay, I see. So this is before.
Right.
Okay. I was confused about that. Okay, thank you.
So again, if there's a 10% change, it should go before city council for approval. Internal roadways must meet all requirements of the fire code. That's a given. So then the engineer chimed in and provided some of these comments, right? So we're still looking at unsafe ingress egress on Sawyer Road.
Mhm.
Again, this is the buffer idea is not approved or accepted by city council, right?
Okay.
So again, we added another lot, so we went from 18 to 19 lots fronting Sawyer Road. Again, it becomes a concern if, you know, that's not approved. So again, this is just this is where he's technically asking that we remove that paragraph, or that we remove that paragraph, so that the driveways could back up into Sawyer. So the comment is for the city not to remove that paragraph. Article 4.1 and Exhibit W.1 states that the city dedicate 5 feet buffer space easement along Sawyer for the PDD. So one of the concerns that the city engineer brought up was, if that's the case, then who will own and maintain the easement? So in other words, if we give 5 and he gives 5, then who owns and maintains that? Additional comments from the city engineer are Article 4.1 of the PDD will commit the city to acquiring crisscross easement for the developer. So that would put us at, you know, acquiring that for him so that we can make that connection between Sawyer Road, crisscross and Sawyer Road, connecting all the way across. The other thing is Exhibit T1 and T.2 are not an alternative per the amendment. So basically what this is saying is this: those illustrations have been submitted as exhibits, but they're not listed as an alternative in the PDD. So in other words, if we don't agree to connecting the streets, then, you know, there's nothing saying that these alternatives would take the place of that. That make sense?
No, it doesn't.
So in other words, they're listed as exhibits, but in the PDD, if you guys say no to the connector street or whatever, it doesn't say that these are going to take its place. You know, so it's
And
under
T1 and T2 are what?
right. It's under the assumption that, you know, city council would approve that connection.
Can you clarify it, Rick? I'd appreciate it because this is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Mayor, Council.
Good evening and
Rick
welcome.
Samora with Ardora. So the amendment that was proposed,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, can you all hear me? The amendment that was proposed changed the ingress egress of the whole subdivision from Sawyer Road to Crisscross.
Mhm.
And so the whole PDD that we have to discuss today
Mhm.
doesn't show this alternative to be one of the alternatives. If we can't get that Sawyer Road, the Crisscross connection, this does not show up as an alternative. It was switched. Last time we looked at it,
Right, it wasn't there.
it wasn't going to Crisscross.
No, it wasn't. It was going out to Sawyer Road. And why isn't
Yes.
why doesn't he just keep it out to Sawyer Road?
Well, it was a safety concern that was brought up last time, but this was not presented as an alternative, even though the exhibits are in there.
Okay.
So I'm just clarifying that there's no language in the PDD that clarifies that this could be an alternative if the Crisscross extension is not acquired by the city.
Okay, yes, Dr. Caldera. Yeah.
So essentially what he's saying is if we're tied to getting Crisscross because it doesn't revert back to Exhibit T1, which the exit going out to Sawyer. So if y'all adopt this PDD, it is saying that we're going to assist in getting the connection to Crisscross.
Oh,
So that's what
okay.
Rick is saying, is it's not saying that if you fail to get Crisscross, it reverts back to T1. That's not part of the plan. It is, you have no choice, we have to get the connection to Crisscross, unless he makes that change in his plan or whatever.
Okay.
So it was just his comment.
Okay.
It's not worded in there.
All right.
They're just exhibits in the PDD, but it doesn't say what they're for.
Okay. And let me ask you about the 5 feet and 5 feet. In your engineering opinion, is that an
Well-
adequate safety measure?
Well, the suggestion that was made about the 10 feet, I was a little unclear on.
Uh-huh.
By the description that Crystal had given at the last meeting, I just assumed that the 10 feet would be on the private side.
Uh-huh. And it's not.
And then.
It's 5 and 5.
And it seems like it's gonna be 5 feet of city right of way and 5 feet of the developer's right of way.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the options is to make it all city right of way
Mm-hmm. Oh.
as a dedication. Instead of having I'm a little confused about that, so to call it an easement with 5 feet city, 5 feet
Uh-huh.
developer, it's a little unclear on the maintenance and.
Yeah. Right.
who
Would
owns
that would that mean that Sawyer Road would shrink? Would that affect
There's-
the size of Sawyer Road?
There may be room to build the 10 feet within the city right away. I just don't know if that was the
Yeah,
city's
so-
intent.
Right, so my original suggestion was that he give up 10 feet, and speaking with Mr. Samir, and I'm sure he will come up here in just a little bit and explain it, is that he couldn't make those lots work by giving up all 10 feet. And so he's requesting that we give up 5 feet, and he give up 5 feet in order to make the 10-foot buffer. Again, that's a council conversation that we need to have, and whether or not that's something the council wants to do.
Okay.
But Sawyer Road is 60 feet, so you would be reducing our right-of-way by 5, so it would go down to 55 feet.
It would be, okay, that's, okay. So that issue plus
I mean,
the
give or take, I
exit
mean, there's
onto Crisscross.
engineering and all kinds of stuff that goes into that, but
Okay.
Yes, but are you
theoretically.
giving the 5 feet?
Correct, right.
That's, who does it belong to or who?
And then,
maintains
yes,
it?
so
Who's
then
gonna
we have to.
maintain it, though? That's a big
Well,
issue.
we would have to do so kind of like Seneca West, so we're clear, is that you're probably gonna have to go, and do a development agreement to include, if you wanna do this plan, to include Crisscross and to include this right-of-way easement. And you would determine in that agreement whose ability it is, or whose responsibility it is to maintain said easement. Do we give the easement and turn it over to him or to the HOA or as part of their streets? The same thing with Crisscross. If we go ahead and obtain that easement, we'd have to do a development agreement. We'd have to probably calculate rough proportionality like we did with Seneca West. But again, I need to know, before I jump into all of that and do all of that research, I need to know if this plan is something y'all want to do.
Okay, very good. I've got lots of concerns, but let me hear from my council. Counselor Heil, and then Counselor Marsh, and then
and
Counselor
Mr.
Bolton.
Shahadi can probably answer this question. Wasn't he willing to make the houses on Sawyer? He was shifting them back 5 feet, is that correct? So that's where those 5 feet were coming from? And what is it to maintain an easement?
So any potholes, anytime
Okay.
it erodes, anytime water runoff, any of
Okay.
that. It depends on whose responsibility that is.
And that's an unimproved road. Doesn't
Right.
have
I mean,
curbs.
well, we would do
Yeah.
rough proportionality, and we'd have to determine, like, once we get into like exchanging hands of property and what that looks like, I don't know if what he'd be responsible for on, as far as like connecting to sewer, obtaining the easement, like, we'd have to go through those calculations, but I'm not gonna spend engineering funds if this isn't a plan the council
Right,
wants to.
exactly. Okay, Counselor Marsh.
Well,
Yes, Counselor
I know originally when we were looking at the safety aspect of having a buffer for those drivers to back out into and then go the regular route to get out at the entrance or exit on Sawyer Road, I know in my mind, I was thinking of something like Wurzbach Road where there's like a street that parallels the street and there's a curb. But if we're doing this 5 feet, are we going to have a curb kind of out in the middle of nowhere to keep those drivers safe at getting out of their driveway as it narrows the easement of Sawyer Road? That's an issue to me. I would think that the curb for the safety needs to be along the property line of the development and not out where it doesn't go the rest of Sawyer Road that way.
So he's gonna have to answer that question. Maybe it may be beneficial to y'all to hear his presentation. Maybe that will answer some of these questions. Because I should be honest with you, this presentation came in this afternoon, so I haven't even had a chance to look at it. So if y'all want to.
And do we have the city attorney
He's
available to where we can go into executive session?
Yes,
we
if you
other
have a legal question,
questions,
yes,
which
ma'am.
I do.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Counselor Bolton, did you have a question? You had your hand up, and then Counselor Heil, I'll go back to you before we go to Mr. Shahadi.
The
Unless you
map-
had a question, Mr.
The maps that
Rossi.
we're looking at, there was another map that it looks like the entrance to the area was going to be moved completely away from that hairpin turn.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is a big improvement. But then the second one doesn't have that, so I'm just out, there was a slide that showed that with crisscrosses, that is going to be where everyone comes in. It doesn't have an entrance down here anymore?
That is correct. He's requesting that. He doesn't own the right-of-way on the other property in order to extend crisscross to his property. So his request is that the city obtain the right-of-way from that property in order for us to extend
Okay.
crisscross onto his property. So
Okay.
he would move that second entrance to crisscross.
But he would only move the second entrance if we got the crisscross.
Correct.
Got you. That's what I needed to know.
But then I need to make sure that the council's willing to exercise eminent domain if the property owner wishes not to sell us that easement.
That's the legal question that I'd like
Okay.
to go in with
Thank
the
you.
city attorney on. Yes, Counselor
So
Heil.
who owns Crisscross? Who owns this piece of property that we need to acquire?
So it's a gentleman that lives in Texas. I mean, I'm not gonna share his information, but it's a private property owner
Okay.
that owns it, and so we would have to go obtain a right-of-way easement. And so, I mean, the sewer cutoff is there, so at some point, we're gonna probably have to get an easement agreement with, the gentleman that owns that property, but it isn't in our current plans at the moment, so.
And how much area are we talking about?
I don't know. I'd have to get
Okay.
it surveyed. I mean, we're thinking like 5,000 square feet roughly, like, but I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to hear from Mr. Shahadi
Okay,
before we
all
go
right.
into council.
Okay, that sounds good. Did you have another question or comment, Ms. Merz? I want
My
to
other
make sure we.
question is, if you look at the variances on page 183, 163, I don't know, it's little. It's like we're cutting off some from the rear, we're cutting some off from the front. So if you do that to all the units, you can't find 10 feet to have the safety buffer completely on
his
your
side.
property? I mean, I know initially I was thinking we'd only have to cut some setbacks from the front units or the units along Sawyer Road, not necessarily the back units, but this seems to lead me to believe that everything is going to be cut back. So I would think you could gain your 10 feet with all those. Why are we cutting more? And then I also don't understand why we didn't have the playground and the extra green space in the initial ones, because it looks like there was just as much space on the left side of the property as there is now. And why those were not in the initial plan.
Okay. All right.
He still
Anything
has
else?
additional comments from the engineer on the slide, so I don't know if you want to finish hearing
Okay,
it.
yes, let's finish the additional engineer comments.
This is the last comment from the engineer. And basically, he's saying if the city extends crisscross to Sawyer Road in the future, then the city should require the right-of-way be dedicated from this development for the future corridor to build a proper intersection. So the proposed plan kind of curves. You see how it kind of curves? It's the Gold Street. The proper way to do it would be to follow the red lines. So I guess the issue with that for the developer is that it kind of slices through part of his property. But that would be what the city would want him to dedicate to us.
And who would bear that cost?
As far as like
The intersection, building
yeah.
the intersection, is that the developer's responsibility?
So we could ask, have that as part of the plan. As part of a development agreement or.
What the
Okay.
engineer is stating is if you decide to connect to crisscross, he's saying, go back to the slide, please. He's saying that the street should go straight with a proper intersection.
And not
Like
curve.
it needs to go all the way around. It shouldn't just curve into his property.
I understand.
And so.
That's what that picture's depicting.
That's what that picture's
Yeah.
illustrating, but then that means we would have to take lot 68. He would have to dedicate that land to us in order for us to accomplish said
Yeah.
street. Again, this is why all of this would have to be, when you're exchanging land, property, and right-of-way, you would have to do a development agreement.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, thank you. If you'll continue, thank you.
Yes. So properties along Sawyer Road may be zoned for residential uses, which is consistent with the proposed use of the PDD request as a garden house development. Request is consistent and compatible with the city's master plan. To date, this still stands. We still had 16 letters that were sent out for notification, and then no responses.
Now, is this with the amended, or is this the previous?
This is the previous.
The previous, so we haven't sent out any notifications on the amendment yet.
Right.
Is that a requirement?
Well, because it's coming here, it covers that. The dates were on the original one.
I'm sorry, the
The-
date?
The dates for today's meeting were on the original one.
On the original notification.
On the original
You're okay with the
notification.
notification because the notification just states that this property, we're gonna hear a new plan. So every time he changes the plan, you don't have to resubmit a
Okay,
notification.
all right.
Now, if you are, if y'all don't vote on it tonight and y'all decide to bring it back, we would need time to renotice.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So again, we've updated some of the recommendations by staff. We recommend the applicant revise the site plan so that driveways cannot access a collector street if the buffer is not accepted. Staff recommends project to be held to the 10%. If there's an increase, then that needs to be approved by city council. Staff recommends that the code's tree preservation and mitigation process be followed and the variance requested, if applicable, previous approval to be verified. Staff recommends that the development address the recommendation provided by the city engineer. Fiscal impact. All fees associated with the amendment request have been paid. The development of a single-family development will increase ad valorem and sales tax in the city.
Okay, now this 5-2, again, wasn't on the amended, right? It didn't go back to count?
Correct.
It was prior.
So
Okay,
this
just wanna
happened on
clarify
April
that.
the 28th, and so the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval, 5-2.
Okay, and if you'll go back a couple of slides, we're about the city engineer, since he's here. Staff recommends that the development address the recommendations provided by the city engineer.
So those were the buffer?
The buffer.
As to like who's gonna take ownership of that, and then the right-of-way dedication.
Right-of-way,
To
okay.
connect crisscross to Sawyer Road.
Okay, so those are the two issues that we have in front of us. Okay, just to clarify. All right, thank you. Yes, Counselor Marsh.
Just for my clarification, so if this 5 feet of easement is provided contributing to the buffer, is that land then purchased by the developer? Does the city get any benefit from giving up that land to the developer?
Don't know.
That's to be determined.
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
So when you do a development, just like we
Okay.
did with Seneca West, so, in return of,
Okay.
so that's a conversation, a later conversation, if you're okay with this plan.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Michael, do appreciate it. All right, Mr. Shada, you're up next. You've got a presentation, am I understanding?
Yeah, I sure do.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
Congratulations again, to Council. I did send, well, one, I have to apologize for sending my presentation yet again last minute. There's a reason behind it. I had a chance to briefly have a quick conversation with Dr. Caldera today regarding the whole easement thing. And so I want to shed some light on all of this. Hopefully I'll answer all of your questions, and if there are any left, we'll take them from there. So first, I would like to go back to, thank you. So first of all, I would like to go back to the intent of why we're here. All right. We're here because we're contemplating another option to the current one, which is 165 townhouses. And we believe this is something that is worthwhile investigating and exploring. We wanted to dedicate the funds for that, but before dedicating the funds to evaluate this option, we wanted to make sure that this option was available to us. All right. So if council doesn't have the appetite for this, it's fine with us. We're already entitled. But again, we wanted to be good developers. And I stood here before you a while back when we got just last year, just around this time, and I said, we are building to sell. We are not building to rent. We are here to honor that. We're not here to, because I don't want to build something and rent it out. And then Samir is the bad developer. We don't have this reputation. We've always stuck to our word, and we're here to stick to our word. It is honestly the council's choice on this. And if you decide, we're working, you'll see we are coming here with the absolute best intention. I will explain. You're probably wondering, why did he change the plan? Because, well, one, it's way more money for us to acquire that easement. It's more money for us to do what we're suggesting to do. Why? We're not gaining anything out of it. We're reducing our lots, our lot count. So maybe the question that we should start with is why? How is that? Why don't you start there, and then we'll take it from there. And then in terms of technicalities, we'll address the technicalities a little bit later. So this is what was approved. We're all familiar with this. This is what we proposed initially. That is the core of our application. This is still available to us, even though we revised the application based on comments. And I will go as to why we went through all the effort and the expense of developing another plan for your consideration. All right? Even though, honestly, it's not our preference. From a cost perspective, we'd prefer to go with the first, just so you know. All right, so this is what we heard from your comments last time, and then we went hard at work to be able to accommodate those comments. Number one was the driveways facing Sawyer. Obviously, this is something I would like to address and answer any of your questions on that. So the consideration of the buffer lane, then Councilor Mersch, you had an issue with visitor parking, so hopefully we'll show you that we address some of that. There was a concern or just an expression that some of the amenities that we had in the other in our previous plan were lost. So then we thought, okay, well, how can we go back and reincorporate some of those, even if they're smaller? At least we have them, right? And then can we get more green space? Can we? Here's what happened. Finished the presentation last time, and I walked out, and there was a lady sitting right there. Forgot her name, Marcy, I believe, or
Daughtery.
yes,
Miss Daughtery.
yes. So anyway, so she walked out, and this is relevant conversation because she lives in the neighborhood right next door, and she said, Samir, I still have an issue. I know you guys are approved already for 165 people. You do know people cannot turn left heading northbound on Bandera coming out of Sawyer. It's a hellish experience, and they can wait for a long time. So they cut through the neighborhood to be able, their neighborhood, to get to Hebner and then turn left on that stoplight. She goes, can you please, there's that crisscross, can you please consider maybe having a connection there so that we can get to that intersection? I'm like, oh, we'll consider. Absolutely. I mean, it's a good idea. Why not? All right. So that is the why. Was not my brilliant idea, I can assure you of that, because that brilliant idea is causing us all of this. I could have just come back and said, we addressed those issues. Going out on Sawyer, we have 5 issues. We addressed them. We're good to go, right? And then in terms of shared easement and all of that, I'll explain why that's the case, why that's needed. All right. So what did we do? So in addition to reducing our density by 50% from 165 down to 76 originally, now we are foregoing another 2 to 4 lots. We increased visitor parking by 9 stalls. That is, by the way, on both plans, on the previous plan and on the current plan. I'll show you what the previous plan looks like with those modifications. I have that. In fact, anyways, it's actually in Exhibit T1 and Exhibit T2. That's, and I have to apologize because it seems like it escaped us to put in the special provisions that this is available to council, that modification. But it's available to you anyways based on the first submission, the first amendment. So one can easily say, and we've done this in the past many times, well, yeah, we approve your conditional on picking this one, and that's all you need to do. And we'll comply with the condition, obviously. So in terms of increasing, so we added the amenities, we changed some things for the fire plan. That's a technicality, and we added the buffer lane. That honestly wasn't even our idea. It was a great idea that Dr. Caldera recommended, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. So the technicality of how to implement it, again, there are a million ways to do this, and we'll work with the city on that. It could be basically a development agreement. It could be a full dedication with us assuming certain costs. There are many scenarios, and I'm happy to talk about this at the end. So I want to be brief on this. This is the original plan. So the original plan is honored. It's there. It's available for us.
Okay.
This plan.
Excuse me, can I ask you,
Yeah,
is the
please.
only reason you went out to Crisscross was only because of Miss Daughtery?
Yes.
But you already had a second.
This was our plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Remember
So-
when I told you I walked out of here and I said I have it?
Yeah,
That's the plan I had. But
Okay.
this was already done,
okay.
right? And you said that fast, and I said,
Yeah,
yep, I can
that's
send
what
it to you
I said,
tonight.
that fast,
Yes.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead, I actually went out and I spent money with our engineers, et
to do
cetera,
the
to try to do that other one. And honestly, it was just to honor her request because
See.
it made sense. It just made sense. And if you decide it doesn't make sense, I'm cool with that. Trust me. Like, it's way less money for us. Please understand that.
Exactly.
It is.
But
Okay.
this is still an option to go to.
This
to
is an
the second.
option. This is absolutely available. This was our original plan. All
But
we
this
had to
doesn't
do.
show a buffer, right?
Oh, it does. The buffer is right here where
Is
it
the
says
no
no
parking your
parking.
buffer?
Correct.
Is that the 10-foot buffer?
Yeah,
Okay.
and let me show you more because we have more data on that.
Okay,
We're able
thank
to,
you.
because I knew this was going to be a hot topic. All right, so these are the changes that we made to this plan. So we added this, we added some extra parking, we added this. This is the play area for the children. This is a small dog park for those people who have little puppies. And then we also added this area here. It could be used as some of it as retention. Maybe we won't need that. It depends on the planting process, and we'll just dedicate it as green space. Potentially, we'll move the play area down that way. All right. So we've foregone basically 4 lots to do this. This plan here is 72, not 74. Right, so this plan, we go from 76 down to 72 to accommodate this.
Okay, but what about that diagram about the ingress, egress onto Crisscross, and you're going to lose another lot? 68, I think that's what the...
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk.
I mean, so
we'll
is
talk.
that...
Yeah, if we go,
I mean, that's
if we go
another-
with that, yeah, if
but
we go
I don't
with
know
that,
about that lot, that-
yeah,
that
we're
option.
still ahead of the game with the other one. If we decide to go.
all right.
Again, please know, we have zero emotional attachment to the other one, to the plan that we're presenting going onto Crisscross. We're not.
All
If
right.
you decide that's not what you want, we're cool. It's less money for us. Just so you know.
Okay.
Okay. So this is. Okay, let's look at that 10 feet. So this is what it looks like right now. We're saying we would dedicate 5 feet. Now, well, why 5 feet, Samir? Come on, just can you not do the 10 feet? And honestly, we want to do that potentially. We can just, if we are able to do it at platting time, we will do it because it's way less headache for us in order for us to get into a development agreement with the city, all of that. Why did we ask for this 5 feet?
Oh.
All right, so first of all, Sawyer Road is 60 foot right away. This is from a plat from the Barcelona apartments. So that shows 60 feet. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see this. This is the 60 feet here. That continues to all the way to the Crucial, I believe, subdivision. That's at Sawyer and Bandera. That also shows 60 foot right away here. So it's a continuation. It starts at Bandera, finishes on the other end, all at 60 feet. So why is this relevant? Because, so we have taken aerial measurements. These are very, very accurate measurements. It shows the 60 foot. It shows anywhere between 20 to 25 foot in that rough area where it's not paved from the property line to the pavement, right? Because the pavement is only 25 feet. So on a 60-foot right-of-way, there's 35 feet of unpaved, right? Most of it on our end. So it's notable to say that and to show it. What it looks like, if you look at we overlaid the current plan. Actually, this is the plan that we originally. It kind of shows you where we started. We started with this plan. That's our preferred plan. To stick with it, right? It doesn't show an exit here onto Crisscross. But this is a good view for you to see what it would look like if we were to go down this way. Right? Can you see my cursor? Can you guys see my cursor? Okay, very good. So now, but this is not the plan that this shows here. It shows basically that we would extend this here. And there is still about 10 feet, 15 feet, potentially up to 20 feet left after we do this. I have a buffer between the buffer and the pavement. So even if the city was to dedicate all 10 feet, there's still another 10 to 15 feet between the buffer, then you get green space, then you will get the road. So I just wanted to clarify this because that is important. All right. So This is the fire plan. It's technical. So what we did ask for, let me just go back to this for a second. I'm going to answer your question on why 5 feet. Why am I sticking to that issue with the 5 feet?
But I mean,
So-
could you do all 10 feet?
No. Yeah, we did.
Could y'all
we
do
did,
all
yes.
10 feet
Yeah,
and
we
not
did.
share it with the city, and then you would maintain it? and-
Yeah, we
right?
could.
That's
we
an
could,
option.
We could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and if that's
Yeah.
if that's what it is, but
It might be
I'm
simpler.
gonna tell you. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what that means.
Okay.
Okay. Even though it's 1 foot, it just means that we have to shrink the backyards even more.
Right.
Right. So the kids may have a little bit less space. But honestly, if this is the way it is, it's the way, if it makes it easier for all of us, that's fine. Right. We'll go with just 10 feet
Well,
inside
I
of the
mean,
property.
Counselor Marsh, you brought up that you're reducing it here and you're reducing it there. Wouldn't that?
Exactly, you're reducing
Yeah.
front
Yeah.
space, you're reducing backyard already of all these units. I would think that you would have already captured that 10 feet.
Yeah, what we may need, we didn't. That's why we asked for the extra 5 feet. Trust me, we would not be getting into that kind of ask. But it's something available to council. Honestly, it's totally at your discretion. If you say, you know what, no, we prefer to shrink the lots, that's what we will do. It's easy for us to do that, right? And that is what's reflected in the slight change in the requested modifications, right? So that allows us to do that. That 10 feet, we're able to do it with the requested modifications, if that is what you prefer. So let's just go to that now. We did not come here to make your life difficult tonight. Trust me. Just we really wanted to make it easy. So what we're asking for is, if we're shrinking the lots, we may have to put a different product on it that may be a smaller footprint, just to gain more space in the back. It's fine. We want to be able to shrink the living space a little bit from what is currently there. We're changing. We're foregoing the 3.5 story. We're just going to do 2.5 stories. We're not going to go up. We're going to just keep.
So
keep
these
on.
houses would only be 1,100 square feet?
No. That's the minimum.
That's
that
the
that where
minimum.
we may have some corner lots.
Okay.
Where we may have to shrink the house a little bit.
Okay.
Right. That's the only. We're not going to build 1,100. Our cost is substantially does not allow for that. But it's for the exception, because we are shrinking the lot, especially if we go to 10 feet. We expected this may be something that you would prefer, so we thought we would allocate within the requested modifications for that, which means maybe we'll have a couple lots that will have to go down to 1130 or something like this. But we put 1,100 just
1,100.
just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Okay, so you look at the front setbacks, front yard setbacks, we dropped it by 2 feet. That gets us 6 feet because we have 3 rows, right? And then we dropped the backyard from 10 feet to 8 feet. That gives us 12 feet, right? So we're not compromising the ROW. I don't want to compromise the right of way. I want to keep it at 38 feet. Right. The reason behind it is safety, also to make sure that we have the parking lane that also addresses your concern. So we're not eating into that. We're just keeping that 38 feet exactly how it was before. All right. So in terms of
I still haven't heard the answer.
To
Will
what?
the 10 feet buffer make it safe to exit onto Sawyer Road?
if you want 20 feet, you give 10, we give 10.
No, I'm asking the engineer, the city, I don't know. I mean, I know we said no exiting onto Sawyer Road, from the driveway. We knew that. So this is the compromise. So I want to know, does that make it safer? I mean, I'm assuming it does, but I need somebody to tell me that this will solve that safety issue. That's what I'm looking for.
So, I mean, I'll defer to the city engineer and his thoughts on that. I mean, the idea was to give them an access point to get out without having to wait for traffic. But I don't know if we put a curb or billiards there and it would need one-way direction, like you would have to designate them to all come out and make a right turn, like you don't want them coming out and trying to go different directions, like the buffer would have to be one direction, I would assume. Again, I'm not a,
Well, yes, the buffer would probably have to be one direction.
One direction? Okay.
Yes, and I believe the further you put it from the travel lane, the safer it would be. So if you were to build it like right along the shoulder, I'm saying in city right away, that's too close, but the more separation and maybe a curb, like what was suggested, would be safer.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you. I'm just, yes, Counselor Marsh.
So is 10 feet adequate to back up a car out of your driveway or your garage and then to move on? Even if it's a big truck?
It should be.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't run any turn analysis on
You
it.
just kind of threw that number out last meeting out of the blue,
Yeah.
not really knowing what it
It
needed
should
to
be because it's almost the
Okay.
minimum of a travel lane.
Okay.
yeah.
But you're right, you
yeah.
couldn't have cars passing both ways on that. So there'd have to be a clear in and out, assuming we don't do crisscross. One of the things would clearly be an entrance one way only, and the other would be an exit
Exit
one
out,
way
yeah.
only to the subdivision.
Yeah, the reason I threw out 10 feet, because I know when we do like shopping centers and parking spaces to pull out, like out of a parking spot, it's roughly 10 feet. So that's why I threw out the 10 feet. But, I mean, again, I defer, that was what came to my mind when I
Okay.
threw
All
that
right.
out as an option.
Counselor Bolton.
I'm just kind of a visual person. I'd like to see what this would actually look like on a street that doesn't even have curbs. What, I mean, I'm just trying to envision is it going to be like gravel? I mean, are they going to be, what is it exactly going to look like that's going to, when they're coming around that turn and they're trying to get over, I'm having a hard time visualizing it.
Well, I live on Forest Way, and that's a main street into the subdivision, and it is heck getting your car out in the morning, and that's not a big street either. It's a small street, but you know what I'm saying? Backing out. I mean, you take your life in your hands. So anyway.
And you've got a blind curve
and
there
I've got a blind
also,
curve.
and
It
this
is a curve.
definitely has a
We
blind
put
curve.
stop signs there many, many years ago, but not everybody honors those stop signs either. So anyway, so that's my point of reference. So just to FYI.
Yes,
You know Forest Way.
I think the 10 feet will be fine.
Okay. All right.
I've been driving for
Yeah.
12 years for a dealership, and 10 feet is more than adequate.
Okay.
Unless it's Bolton that's driving through there again, like she did in high school, so.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the only thing, Mr. Shahadi, thank you so much for meeting us more than halfway.
Yeah.
Taking it from, I'm sorry, Mary.
No, go ahead. I was going to
Picking
recognize
up
you,
from
Mr. Roscoe.
Going from 165 to 72 or 74, it's definitely making an impact around the neighborhood there. And I understand the mayor's concern about the 10. What concerns me is about the easement.
Oh, that concerns me too.
Yeah,
So two
I've
things,
gone
yeah.
through the easement is, how much is it gonna cost us
Yeah,
to do eminent
exactly.
domain? Or is it gonna come out of, well, you can't. It
Well,
would
why
have to be
don't
in the
I-
city.
Yeah, why don't,
That's about my only concerns about, the 10 feet is fine and eminent domain, but that bothers me, the easement.
well, why don't we talk about this for a second? The gentleman who owns the next door property, where we will need the easement, I know him. We had a coffee together, and I was many years ago, before I acquired this property. So, and actually, I was interested in his property because these ones were not these two properties. Well, they're two properties we linked into one, the one I ended up buying, two brothers. So, so he was not interested. Was a candid conversation. So I did reach out to him. I know he's rather a particular man in terms of the way he looks at the properties and the way he. So I reached out to him actually today, and that is why I delayed. I had a chance to talk to Dr. Caldera really quickly to understand her position on the subject of the easement, right? How does the city feel about it? And because it was important to have this conversation first, and then I thought, okay, well, I'll call the guy, right? I called him up, and I basically we talked briefly, and he said that he'd call me back, and he didn't into the afternoon. So I texted him saying, look, I'm not looking at buying your property. I know you have no intention of selling, but this is what we're thinking about, and this could be good for your property as well.
What did he say?
He did not. So that is why we thought, honestly, it could be, I could be 100% wrong, difficult to get this kind of easement out of him. And that is why I thought, you know what, do we want to fight that fight?
Well,
We've already honestly like went the extra mile for that lady, and I think you know what, we've done our best, and like at this point in time we can just move on, right?
well, and can I just add, that's eminent domain, so we would have to,
Yeah.
city would have to take it over, right? We've already,
And
we've
they could
got,
appeal.
we've got two issues currently, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor. AIDS and the Zarzamora Creek. And they've been going on for at least a year. We haven't resolved it yet. And so legal fees and, I don't know, I got a big issue with
and I
that.
tell you, we have zero appetite for any kind of conflict.
Okay, well, that's,
Zero.
that's why that,
Yeah,
the going back to the exit onto Sawyer with the buffer looks better to me than trying to do that crisscross stuff, but that's just where I'm.
Yeah, and
going.
honestly, like,
Yes.
it all came from the best possible intention.
Yeah, I understand.
Honestly, like,
understand.
we're not trying to create more difficulties or anything. I just wanted to honor that conversation. And I thought, you know what, if this is a real concern, genuine concern, I know how difficult it is. I tried. Actually, I went and drove it. And I know it's difficult. She's absolutely right. And people either cut through the neighborhood, or worse, they cut through the bowling center's parking lot, which is, in my opinion, terrible. So anyway, so that's where this whole thing came from. I just thought I would throw it your way.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Marsh.
I appreciate the difficulties in getting out on Sawyer and then getting out on Bandera from there. But in my mind, those difficulties were there from the get-go when you bought the property. And so it shouldn't be a surprise, and you shouldn't say, oh, this is going to be so difficult. And it shouldn't be an option to go through the neighborhood or the parking lot of the bowling alley. And pretty soon, we're all going to have to only make right turns on Bandera.
Correct.
That's
And
right.
so
That's the
I
future.
think anybody that buys these properties has to realize that they're going to have to go down Bandera and then, turn around at some point or whatever. But those should have been anticipated challenges with the property and with Sawyer Lane and with the access to Bandera from the get-go. And so I appreciate the solution that Criss Cross would give, but I don't know that
It's a
we
very
can
good point.
count on
Honestly,
it.
we didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's something that came up in the Seneca West conversation, how people will be all turning right. And yeah, shame on me. We went through all this effort, paid all this extra money, and ultimately it's going to be the exact same problem. No, fair enough, yeah.
You're not going to be able to turn left, yeah.
It's going to be a worse problem if it's 260-something units versus 74.
Okay. Yes, Councilor Howell.
And that area really needs something. It's just a haven for homeless people. And if we had something nice there, it'd make a difference. It'd increase the value of the other homes in that area. And I would certainly, if I lived there, I would prefer something like that to be there as compared to all the homeless people hanging out. Because you couldn't walk by, it's not safe. Because like I said before, I've been back there, and I had no business being back there.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure if we, now, well,
We have a public hearing tonight.
no, there's not a public hearing. That was on 3.
Oh, wasn't there a public hearing tonight?
I don't think so. We've
Yeah,
decided.
there's a public
we're-
hearing on.
Do y'all want to move to executive session and talk about the
I don't see
eminent
a need
domain?
to.
If we're not interested,
I
if
don't
you
think
want
we
to,
need
we
to.
can. If we're not interested in the crisscross, then we don't, that's eminent domain. We don't have to go into executive session, in my book.
Actually, honestly, we're not interested in crisscross anymore based on your.
Right.
Okay, so, but if you're interested, would you put
But
that
if you need to have a conversation about like
development agreement?
development agreement on the 5 foot, or if y'all are gonna
Yeah.
ask him about doing that option versus making him responsible for all 10 feet or
Well, you
what?
just
We're
said you
good,
would do
yeah,
it.
we're good.
He just
We're
said he
good
would
going
do
with 10
it.
feet.
So I just
We'll make
asked
it
him. He
easy
said
for
yes.
everybody. Yeah.
I think that's easier. Then you maintain it,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know?
And in
So-
terms of the technicality on us not including the initial plan as an option, it's available to us through the previous with modification, with the first amendment that we submitted. This is a revision. So if council, at your pleasure, if tonight you'd like to, and our hope is you'd like to vote on it, you can simply say that, you know what, we will adopt this with T1 and T2 instead of K1 and K2, I think. So I'm happy.
You might want to
Well,
ask the attorney how, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know if we're,
structure-
I think we're going to have to have a development agreement, right?
No need for
I
development
mean,
agreement.
not if we're not giving up anything. If you're
Okay.
just voting on his plan, then you can vote
Mhm.
on his plan. But you're gonna have to vote on his plan with the concessions that the engineer, like, I don't know if your motion has to have, like, if you have the same concerns that the engineer has brought up
Mhm.
this evening, your motion would include that those items be addressed in some form or fashion. You know, so it's kind of like what y'all want to do, if you still have other issues with this plan.
Mhm.
But
Well,
if you're okay with the plan as is,
Now-
exiting onto Sawyer Road, you're just gonna have to be very clear on your motion.
right.
So in terms of, I'm sorry, in terms of the motion, I'll tell you what we are absolutely willing to do in terms of the motion. Absolutely happy to stick with the original plan. So if the motion says that, you know what, original plan as modified in exhibits T1 and T.1 and T.2, that is effectively what we need. The modifications, currently, I don't believe there was an issue with the actual modifications. There was the issue with the driveways. There was an issue with the tree preservation
Yeah,
plan.
that's my issue
Yeah,
too.
so we can talk about this because I believe there was no consideration to the current approved PDD, which already includes language on the tree preservation. It's included, it's embedded in there. So we are currently allowed to take trees out. With the only exception that we did not, we had to come back to get council's approval on the amount, the in lieu fee. That's it. So the entitlement to take the trees out is in there already. It's important that we all know that. We do not need a variance. Now, we had,
I believe I read clear cut. You're clear cutting.
No, yes. So let's talk about that. Okay. So, and this is something we can also add to the motion, because the reason why we're clear cutting, it's because of that new plan. The new plan
The new plan.
would have made us basically, look, you want this, then we'll have to cut, right? But we don't have otherwise. Our initial, the one that we're currently approved for is 6 trees that we would keep, right? We came back and said we can keep 3 with reducing all this density from 165. We can still keep 3, and now we're down to like 72, 74. If we are going to keep those like any additional trees, we're going to have to take out more lots. And honestly, that's going to make it extremely difficult for us to justify this plan. We'll probably have to go back and revert back to our original plan. I'm truly trying to make it so we can make this plan happen, honestly. And it's a collaboration. I know 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees versus an additional 80 units. This is where we need, it's a collaboration effort. And my hope is that you would give us what we need. We are replanting 150 trees, right? And we're choosing a bigger caliber than last time. So we do want to do this with a reduced density. But we cannot go below a certain number of lots. It's not going to be feasible. Honestly, that's, yeah.
That.
So
But
then,
I guess I don't know, we don't know what the fee in lieu of would be.
Well, he's asking
I
for
know
a
you want a
maximum-
cap,
Yeah, he
so I
wants a
just want
cap
to
of
know,
20.
well, what is it?
Right, but
You
you
know?
can, take, if you want to, you can take the motion, and as part of the motion, say we will handle the tree mitigation portion at a later date. You can also do that. My question to you, though, okay, well, if you
Yeah, and
can't
I'll
do that-
explain why,
yeah.
I'll explain why I can't do that.
That's fine.
Once you're done.
But my second question is, are you still asking for them to make the motion to include, to keep your original plan with the R3
Yes.
and R6? So he's still asking to keep R3 and R6. So your motion would have to read that way. And so that's the portion I think you need to have a
Yeah,
conversation
with the attorney, because he said you couldn't have both. You had to choose one, is
Oh.
what he said,
Well,
so.
I think we talked about this last time, and I think he agreed that this is something we've already done. There's precedence for it.
I didn't
And
think so.
it's,
Did you hear that?
we,
Hear that?
we did have that conversation, 100%. He was sitting here.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know, you may want to go and ask that.
All right.
I just want to make sure you're
Let's do
very
that.
clear in your motion, so.
I didn't get that. I thought we were going to the R6.
Yeah, no, our plan from the very beginning, the amendment allowed us to keep our current entitlements and evaluate this other entitlement. Now, the
Because
reason why,
Yeah.
yeah, the
I
reason
just
why-
heard your
Whereas if you don't
conversation.
like what the R6, then you can go back to the R3?
His
well,
original
if our numbers don't
That's why
work,
I think that's why I'm encouraged, because if we give you all these considerations for the R6, then you wouldn't do the R3. Do you see what I'm saying?
well, you don't have to give me the considerations for the R6. We can stick with the R3. So, but that's not what I'm saying. What, you know, I'm here for a reason. We're not wasting our time. We're not wasting your time or our time. We don't have the time to waste, honestly. We have so much stuff going on. The reason why I'm here is because I am evaluating this very seriously. One of the reasons why I needed to come to see if this is available to us, it's because I am about to spend more money on further evaluation, engineering, marketing research, putting the package for the bank, for construction loans, right? The moment I put the package to the bank, if I have a question mark on my cost for in lieu fees, for instance, on the trees, that's a problem, right? Because they say, well, what if the city charges you $1 million? Now you can't build anymore, right? That becomes a big risk for the bank. It becomes a big risk for us. So do I just say, you know what, yeah, no. My preference is to just, please, if you're allowing us this option, accompany that with a fixed fee so that we know what we're stepping into and the bank knows what they're stepping into.
Okay.
I believe with a reduction in density that we are taking on in terms of cutting our profits, I believe it's only fair that you guys reciprocate with consideration on the trees. And again, we are replanting 150 trees. We're not leaving this kind of hanging. It's not going to be empty space. So I wanted to address that. And the other thing I wanted to address is, in terms of the motion, I believe the motion is very simple. I believe we addressed a lot of these issues. We have the buffer. We have shrunk the lots. We have the extra visitor parking. The trees, we already have the entitlement to remove the trees. The motion is to adopt it as proposed, the revised version, but to allow T1 and T2 instead of K1 and K2. And I believe you can talk to your attorney. You're welcome to do that. I believe it's as simple as that, Dr. Caldera.
No, I just wanted to make note, you do have a public hearing.
I
So
do? Where is
even
it?
though it's not on your agenda.
Okay.
We noticed as a public hearing staff error, we just didn't
Oh,
note it
okay,
on the
yeah, I
agenda.
didn't
So
see it.
It's
Okay.
not on your agenda, but it was noticed as a public hearing this evening. So you do have to open and close your public hearing, just so we can,
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much. Any other questions at all?
No, but I think I'd like to go into and talk to our attorney about some issues. Yeah, go ahead, Counselor Heil.
You had a list of all the trees on that property, and most of them are just junk trees. Is that correct?
85%.
Yeah, they're just junk.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's by definition, right? Like some people see it as junk, some people see it as value add. Honestly, if I may take a minute to talk about something we've been championing. So we are working currently on 3 projects in the Hill Country. One project on 380 acres that we've been working on for the past year with 234 lots. It's very close to the city limit. Another one towards the the east, northeast end of the city. Another one by Helotes area, which is another 100 acres with about 75 lots on it. And then another one by Comfort, right? You will be very happy to hear that we're working closely with the Hill Country Alliance. We're working closely with the Edwards Aquifer Authority. We are right now the developer. I was just speaking at Hill Country Alliance small group that about our initiative. We are building 3 communities that are totally 100% off the grid. Rainwater harvesting. We're keeping at least 90% of those acreages intact. All right. So we have solar panels. We have rainwater harvesting initiative. We have OSSF. So everything is the sewer is on site. We are connecting to nothing. Everything is like Starlink is our provider. Every house is absolutely 100% off the grid. When it comes to environment, I believe we are championing Texas right now in that space. I believe we are currently working with 3 different municipal bodies: Kerr County, Bexar County, and another municipality, Bulverde, that is. So it's important to understand that we are not squeezing the city here out of 6 trees to be bad developers. I invite you to be, even to come and attend some of these meetings we have. We have Edwards Aquifer Authority. We have the San Antonio River Authority. We have the Hill Country Alliance. All of these guys are going to sit on an advisory board to help us with these 3 developments. We have 2 big builders that potentially may join us. We have Hayes County from a regulatory perspective to allow us.
Off
So,
topic, yeah.
Off topic,
And
but
I'm
I want
thinking, well, you
it's
could have
in
done that in
support of
Leon
my
Valley
trees.
too, you know.
It's in support of the trees request. That's all. It's
Okay.
not necessarily off topic.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Shahadi.
very
So
much.
let me open up the public hearing as per, it's not on the agenda, but it was noticed at 9:19. And is there anyone on our chambers that want to address this development? Please come forward. All right, Ms. Chason.
Tina
Good evening and
Chason,
welcome.
Forest Oaks. I do think, I recall being here for that discussion with the attorney and the R2 and R3. It was shown that it was allowable. I remember that discussion very clearly in my head, that it did take place, because I think Mr. Shahadi gave an example of a community that had the mixed use, the R2 and the R3.
R3 and R6.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
It's late. Okay,
you.
thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Okay. Seeing no one else, then I'll close the public hearing at 9:20. And let's move into executive session, call the attorney. I'd just like to ask him a couple of questions. Is he available by phone?
We'll call him in back in.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we're going to move to executive session, and it is now 9:21.
The storm is here.
And we'll stand in recess till we get back. Thank you.
Rick?
Oh, we're getting ready to get hit by a big storm, guys. In a few minutes, they're going to hit, it's going to be bad. I'm sure the park's going to flood. Look at the radar, it's bad.
The radar is bad. We've got about 30 minutes
All right.
to get out of here.
Oh, do you think we have time to go into executive session?
No, we really don't.
No. Okay.
Might as well do it now.
Let me just double check.
We're not in there long, we can finish up.
This is what's coming down our way. We're right here.
It's not too bad.
Talking about damaging hail and winds.
It's up to y'all. I mean, we can.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and see if we can. I think we should do it.
Have been wet before.
And you did a crisscross as well. I need to bring that up to.
or with access to a park right next to it, because they don't want the kids out of there. A big, look at you. Okay. Why don't you give her your jacket? Yeah. No, but come on, that was, you're still on. I'm on. Yeah, she's sleepless.
Oh, she just wants to get these.
Now we can be looking. See, yeah, and it goes well. You look very sharp. Yeah. Say something. Thank you. Because she wouldn't.
No, she's tough. There's some military stuff.
Hey, I'm gonna keep you straight.
I'm straight. Maybe one day, but, you know.
You talk about what you want to talk about, I meant it a certain way.
Some people don't listen to what's going on. Who's listening?
I was showing her what a townhome in Philadelphia.
Beautiful.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, they're like 3-4 stories and.
Our
And
homes,
they're worth
our
a
homes
ton of money.
Actually, the city of Philadelphia, 20 years ago, was selling everything in South Philly where I was born for $1.
Wow.
But you had 10 years. Huh? Now? Really?
Yeah.
300,000-400,000, easy. It's all the old development when Philadelphia, 1776 to 1840, when they were doing and having a lot of influx in the people that were coming in, building in the neighborhood. Three and four streets that were Polish, 2 or 4 or 5 streets that were Italian. So you had the section, all, and the Jews, and everybody, we all got together. Cobblestone is cobblestone still. And wide. Go through when automobiles, fire of the automobile on both sides. I mean, you couldn't swerve one way or the other. It was dead straight. It was
So
just.
your sports car then.
Oh, your sports car was great. You had at least a oversized car.
Like sports cars.
Well, I used to have it.
It's very mechanical.
I did, but it's just that wide. And then you had, from the curb of the street, curb of the street to the, but from the curb to the 3 or 4 steps, where the guy was down the trough. This is news to you, you've never. Yeah. They were butt up against each other. It was a community. Flashbacks. I mean, it was such a great community. You know, everything was long and narrow, and your backyard was all cement, with the exception of a little strip between the houses. That was grass, a little strip. So you hung your clothes out there. You had your clothesline poles, barbecues. I mean, like that. So you had that, and then you had your kitchen. Dining room, and that was parlor, and over here would be a staircase to the second. Another staircase to the 3rd floor, if there was. Usually there were just 2 floors, basement. Best way to grow up. Because you had 50 million mothers. Okay, and grandmothers. And I mean, if they saw you doing something wrong, they'd grab you by the scruff of the neck and march you home. But there were no yeah, there was like no telephones at that time, you know, in the houses. Somebody might have one 2 or 3 houses down, and everybody would say, Mrs. So-and-so, can I use your phone? I need to call. I mean, it was kind of like that, but you mothers. And everybody, the mothers were all outside. Everybody was outside polishing the steps, going to the front door. You know, in South Philly, where I was, marble. Marble that had steps. All the homes had that. So the women would be out there early. Because it was like you could not have. It reflected on you. Oh, everybody knew.
Well, I'm from Texas. So, yeah, I'm an Air Force.
Oh, okay. So she's been all around.
Yeah, we lived in,
30 days.
yeah, well, Dad. I've actually never been to DC.
Was it exciting for you? Okay. Probably good. Okay. Oh, thank you. They surprised me, did I tell you?
I put that letter that I need you to sign at your seat. Okay. And Councilmember Rosebud.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, and grab them real quick.
Here, I'll sign it.
She was so excited. That's cool. That is very cool. And here, I put yours and your son's and your signature. Oh, okay. And you know what, I needed it's in it.
the mayor brought them to me, but I've read this too. This is excellent. But then I haven't read that one.
Hello, hello. We are back from executive session at 9:42. And we have a motion. Counselor Mersch, go ahead.
I would like to make a motion that we table agenda item 9.1 until the next meeting and defer it till then.
Okay. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion by Counselor Mersch and a second by Counselor Orozco to table agenda item 9.1 to June 2nd, 2026 council meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry 4 ayes and no nays. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. And agenda item number 10 is request from members of City Council to add future agenda items. Anyone have anything that they'd like to add? All right. Yes, sir. Did you have a?
Not necessarily an agenda item, but just a concern, maybe you can email me later, but I'll try to make reservations for the pool, for the party house, and of course, Crystal told me to contact this company. My question is, who collects the money, who keeps the money, and how, and do we get any of that money? Because apparently, all that money wanted to go to that gentleman, that person who's taking care of the pool, but I never seen a line item in our budget saying that we got money from that.
It's the general.
We do it, we just put it under revenue.
Yeah.
They collect all the pool fees, so like when you go for a day pass, you're collecting, you're paying over there.
Right.
So they collect the fees and then they remit us the check.
Okay. All right.
But it is in your budget.
Okay, yeah, it
Sorry.
is. Yeah. All right. So if there's no objection, then we move to adjourn on May 19th, 2026 from the City Council meeting at 9:44. Y'all be careful. There's a storm coming in, so drive safely, please. All righty. Thank you, and we'll see you on June the 2nd. And happy Memorial Day, too. Be safe. Yes, and yes.
Everything by then. May 31st, 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I'm like, really? 9 o'clock on a Sunday? Poor kid. So I have to have her there at 7 a.m. I know, it's crazy.
We can find it out, but you use it for the TML. We'll have TML in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's supposed to start at like 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, y'all take care.
We probably won't get the worst of it until midnight. That's what I saw on the. Yeah. Well, that's why I was like. Are you having fun yet?
Loads, tons. Oh, boy.
So you can tell Linda that I read her thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was nice.
You know what? I think I can do this. Shouldn't be anything.
And, did you want the mayor pro tem name badge?
I guess.
I didn't know who was going